Look out. Howdy, howdy. 303, Let Her Rip Friday. Anything goes. It's your show, and it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. With Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder. And it's Let Her Rip Friday. Anything goes. Having a happy Friday, even though the Braves, kind of God bless him. It was a great year. I'm not angry at the Braves. I love the Braves, and I feel bad for them. And what the hell, it's Friday, so let's have a little fun. We'll do the whole Moss thing, but we got a lot of good stuff coming on, including the goth crowd outside today. Man, I hope they're there when I go home tonight, because I'm going to get some serious video. But first of all, I'm just going to tell them, Saturday! Sunday always sucks that way. Anyway, it's only me.
It kind of seems that the Roxy has an ongoing theme of bringing in,
it's
kind of plus-size goth people.
A couple weeks ago, they had the country crowd, and it was like there must have been 1,000 or 2,000 young girls, all in short skirts and cowboy boots. I mean, they were all the same. But every other concert lately has been real goth and kind of angry looking. And although I'm going to take some more video, and usually I try to find some young girls who are kind of standing there having a good time, and I'll just start chatting with them. And tonight when I go home, if they're still there, I don't know what the concert is or whatever, but I mean, this crowd looked, it was all black, everything, black eyes and nail things and black leather and rips in it and holes and just, me, kind of rough looking. So what I'm going to do is tonight when I go home, I'll have my phone ready as I'm walking down the sidewalk and I'm going to say, I said, boy, I said, I'm not sure who's playing here, but I got a granddaughter would love to be with you. Cry, who's playing tonight? And then see if they can start talking to me, and then eventually I get some good video stuff like that, so they don't turn on me, But I will. And by the way, I didn't talk to Pete. Well, in fact, let's do that first. Pete Davis, what's going on in the mountains of Macon, and what you got for this weekend, sir? What's up?
I'm just looking out my window trying to figure out what part of Revelation are we going to do today.
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, sir. You mean my revelation? Or
No. The last chapter of the Bible. Which one are we going to do today?
Yeah, I was hoping maybe that wasn't going to come true. And by the way, first of all, it's Friday the 13th, and it's Kill All the Christians Day, or whatever they're calling it, the Hamas brutalized the world day, and fatwas, I don't know what the hell they're calling it, Jihad anniversary celebration day of something today. And it's happening. They've killed the teacher in France. Anyway, we got all that stuff. We got all the latest stuff. France is now condemning and outlawing Arab protesters, Hamas supporters from protesting. Anyway, Flounder, any weekend plans? Miss Veronica, I was assuming. What we got here?
That's the Friday the 13th theme. The kill.
Oh my God, I forgot. Oh my God, I totally forgot. It's creepy too. That was well done.
Probably taking it easy. She's under the weather as well, so both of us are kind of sick. So
is this like just a cold thing? Head cold?
I got a head cold. Hers is more allergies. Her office this past week flooded, and when they were there, she was there at work. They had kicked up dust and all kinds of stuff, so it probably caused some kind of sinus infection.
Oh well. Well, anyway, but for the record, I'm going to go hit balls this weekend, Saturday and Sunday in the late afternoon. If you're feeling better or whatever, I would, anyway, if you need some company. 307 Pete Davis, when's the next Holy Crap at Sports podcast, sir?
Immediately following this show.
Oh, excellent. Well, there you are. All right, it's 307. It's only me. It's the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let Her Rip Friday. Here's the phone number. We love phone calls. I know people don't like to use your phone for actually phoning anymore, but in case you get an urge, and if you'd like to react to some of the things we'll be saying, we'd love to have your feedback. And also, we're trying to monitor YouTube and stuff like that. Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And so just to follow up on this goth crowd. So I'm coming into this, and it's noonish or something. I work at home until I come in around noon. So I'm walking on, and there's probably 20 or 30 of them. It wasn't a whole big crowd yet because I assume the concert's tonight and whatever it is, and so they'll be here all day. Anyway, I'm walking on the sidewalk, and I'm walking slowly, and I'm looking at all the people, and it's mostly girls, and they're fairly young, and most of them are a little heavy, but they're wearing like cut-off black leather holey pants with like biker jackets and chains. I mean, it's black. Everything's black, and it's real goth kind of looking. So I'm staring at them, looking at him and stuff, walking slowly down the sidewalk, and then as I start turning to look kind of straight ahead, I see a cop who in full tactical gear who's walking the other direction, who's watching me obviously, and as soon as I see him, he breaks out laughing because he was watching me the whole way, and as I turned around, I saw him, he starts laughing like crazy. We both waved to each other, walking on this. I mean, it was really pretty funny because he was probably 40, and he sees me, walking on the side, looking at all these, oh my God. So it was a very funny moment. Anyway, so I'm going to try to get some video and go home tonight, and I'll put it on social media later. Anyway, a million things going on here today. Excuse me. Including some complaints and Letter Up Friday and what do you think and stuff like that. We've got a couple of things of sound to talk to you about the idiots on The View, and you'll hear from at least one of the students reacting to a very bad situation over there today, kind of highlighting things. Josh Hawley wants an investigation about whether these universities sponsoring all this hate stuff protest should be getting federal money. Anyway, we'll see. Oh, was that mine? Oh, Pete, I didn't turn off my phone. Let's see. Pete just sent me a message. Let's find out what this is now.
Yeah, basically, and I completely understand this woman. She's a councilwoman in New York City. She was in the streets, and she was near a pro-Palestinian rally, so she decided to protect herself, so she had a gun on her side. And what did the police do after ignoring the Kill the Jews chants for the last 2 days? They arrest her for trying to protect herself.
Does she have a permit? I assume
New York City, I don't think they give her.
Well, I don't think
they give permits, do they?
Oh, you can get a permit, but you better be a big time Charlie hotshot. She's a
councilwoman.
Yeah, she's a Jewish councilwoman arrested for wearing a gun on her waist while opposing the. Oh God, I love her. What I mean, she's a real woman, buxom woman, and she got the gun right there on her freaking belt, on her waist, on her jeans. I'm getting very excited right now. I got to tell you, I'm serious. Chicks with guns, man. She says, "Oh yeah." I mean, she's a doll too. So, but anyway, now obviously, I would assume that she's got a permit. Well, I don't know what the charge was. I didn't read the whole story. It just came in. But did it say was it? I don't know what the charge is.
They need to send the message. Send the message. We're not putting up with this.
Yeah, take your guns.
Stanford, they made the Jewish kids stand in the corner while the professor mocked them. This is not Nazi Germany. You got to stand up every time they do this crap. This is the United States of America. We said no more. Yeah. There will be no more. We will show up with guns.
Yeah. And by the way, for the record, I still get the Al Jazeera constipation, and the reason I call it that, I'm going to hold up now for the cameras. Today in the paper, this is why I call it the Al Jazeera constipation. 3 different big color picture monster stories, okay? And this is why I'm going to hold it up to the camera for YouTube. One of them, Israel pummeling Gaza, and it shows pictures. An injured child is inside an Al-Shigabaka hospital in Gaza City. Staff members are scrambling to treat the wounded who were crammed into corridors filled with people who are fleeing their homes amid the Israeli airstrikes, where they got a green light to drive ahead with their retaliation, pulverizing the Gaza Strip with airstrikes. Palestinians desperate for food and fuel and medicine, and the poor Palestinian Hamas people in Gaza. That's one first story. Second story. Morgue in besieged Gaza overwhelmed by carnage. Written by Deborah Stonking St. Kokapamba and Mohammed Bachakapap from Gaza City. The morgue in Gaza's biggest hospital overflowed as bodies came in faster than relatives could claim them on the soil of Israel's heavy bombardment. Mike, that's two. That's two. Besieged by, overwhelmed by the carnage from the Israelis. Number 3, Georgia students show support for Israel and Palestinians. Yes, the group said, well, we denounce war crimes at the hands of Hamas forces while recognizing that such acts ultimately stem from the Israeli occupation of Palestine and providing Israel with its justification for its own. I mean, my God, that's three major full-color, huge stories from the Al Jazeera Constipation, all in the same theme.
Yeah. Well, we said never again, and we mean it.
I'll tell you, and by the way, for the record, if you think it would be funny to walk up to a stranger here in Atlanta or anywhere else, or to me, for example, if you think it might be funny to maybe pull a little trick, or if you're serious either way, if I see someone come running up toward me and start yelling Allahu Akbar, there's going to be a really bad ending. Because I'm not going to fool around. If you hear that phrase, if someone's coming toward you and yelling Allahu Akbar, bing, bang, boom. DRT, baby, dead right there. I mean, but nobody's fooling around. And for the record, I think that would be a clear justification if someone is coming at you and looking ferocious like they're ready to attack you, maybe a hand in a pocket or a jacket or something or other, and start yelling Allahu Akbar, you're asking for it.
On this day where they call for a day of jihad, if someone pulls that stuff, if you come at somebody hard, you're going to be put down hard.
Yeah, it's just this is crap. And by the way, we have got a break here, but I'm looking at the video from the college campuses are overflowing. Places around the world overflowing with hate for Israel and supporting for the poor innocent victims of Hamas for the retaliation bombs. It's the damnedest thing I ever saw. This reminds me of Vietnam, for God's sakes, 50 years ago. I mean, I can't believe it. For this, they're supporting the people who chop heads off of babies and then set them on fire. You're all going to hell when you die. 314 with the Clear Repeat and Flounder. Let It Rip Friday. Ya-da-da-da-da. Dun, 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 dun. Bob Dylan, Big Day, 2016. I could just listen to this song. I guess we have to start talking, but one more thing. Ding, ding. One more verse, and then I'll talk. Fell out. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Down, down. Bum, down, bum. Bob Dylan. Sing me, Bobby. Sing me. How does it feel? Bob Dylan, this day 2016, got the Nobel Prize for Literature. The first songwriter ever to win that award. 75-year-old at the time received the prize for having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition. And in fact, I shall now read to you a couple of maybe well-known or maybe for you not well-known Bob Dylan lines, things he has said, written. By the way, Bob Dylan says that he considers himself a poet. I'm a poet today, he says, and I will die a poet. Does not consider himself a singer or a songwriter. Bob Dylan, I'll let you be in my dreams if I can be in yours. Mm-hmm.
Did you say that to him?
No. He said it to me one time. We were together. It was Judy Collins' concert. Anyway, it's a long story. I could stay with you. Quiet. I could stay with you forever and never realize the time. And one more. Suddenly I found you and the spirit in me sings. Don't have to look no further. You're the soul of many things. Little Bob Dylan there. In fact, I got several. I'll read an occasional thing later on because he really is, what a talent. Quick birthday. It's Literate Friday. Anything goes. 404-741-1230. If you want to get on the phone or get us on YouTube, but let's have some fun. We got so much crap going on with this whole Hamas thing, and it's expanding a little bit. They're not doing the full offensive yet, but they will. All right, quickly, for a birthday of note, though, first. Sacha Baron Cohen is 52. Borat's Culture, whatever it was. And by the way, there are some moments in that stupid movie that were freaking hysterical. I got to give it to him, but he's kind of a goof. And he was also Ali G. That was another one of his movies. Anyway, Sacha Baron Cohen. Wasn't he married to, what's her name, that pretty singer girl?
No, he's married to the young redhead that was in Wedding Crashers, the young hottie.
Oh, God, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Let's see, maybe a note of history here. 1972, the plane carrying Uruguay's rugby team crashed in the Andes. They ran out of food on the 10th day and then heard on a portable radio that the rescue had been called off. The 16 survivors resorted to eating the dead people. They were frozen corpses, but guys got to eat. The movie Alive in 1993 was based on their 69-day ordeal. And I suppose, you got to do what you got to do.
One of the funniest skits that Monty Python ever did was the lifeboat skit where they're arguing about who should eat who. I wish you'd all quit bickering and eat me.
Oh, my God. Let's see, 324. I guess we got to talk about that. Oh, by the way, Braves, first, Holy Crap of Sports coming up, and I assume, is Nick in morning, or is he going to be, do we have an idiot? Nick, Jelani will be 680 the fan will be joining us.
I believe he'll be in touch with us at some point today.
Okay. Well, at some point, Nick will be calling in, and we'll talk. We'll commiserate about it. And again, for the record, I'm not. I'm upset. I wish we had more Braves to enjoy. But my thought is, they got beat by a better team at that time. For those 3 games, they lost to a better team. That's all they had. And by the way, my God, how many times do we have to say don't pitch to Castellano or whatever his freaking name is? He went twice. He hits 2 of them. I mean, my guy, and Harper. How many times? Even I said it. Don't pitch to Bryce Harper and Castellano.
I said there's two guys in that lineup, Harper and Castellanos, that you really have to avoid.
You said it yesterday. We said it for the week. Oh, my God.
Overall, he didn't pitch bad at all. It was our bats.
No.
We had multiple opportunities.
The pitching was pretty good.
The pitching was bad for one game.
Yeah, well, yeah,
it was the hitters that didn't show up.
Yeah, they couldn't do it. Yeah, and the same thing with LA. Yeah, well,
and the manager.
I don't put, honestly, and again, I'm, obviously so far from being a professional ball player, professional athlete, but to me, I still don't think it's that big a deal that they had, our third baseman bat second instead of third for one game. That's not why we lost that game.
Okay. The
number of times
season,
the number of times
set lineup.
Well, I know, but the number of times we all played baseball. If you're going up a spot earlier than before, you're still facing the pitcher. It's not like you get more time to watch him in the batting circle. It's silly.
You do that in August. You don't do that in the playoffs or game one when you've set offensive records all year with the same lineup. Everybody in baseball says how great this is, that these guys know their role. They know exactly where they're supposed to be. Don't mess with it superstition-wise or any other way. Don't mess with it. And in the first game, he decides to monkey and put Danny Bautista in left field. That's from 98, by the way.
Well, okay. Well, all right.
I don't forget this stuff.
All right. Well, all I'm saying is, when people say, well, if you bat a guy second, he's going to be at bat 7 more times over the course of 3 months than the guy batting third because of the 3 outs, and then you go to the thing. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, the analytics is trying to get a guy to get 4 more at bats over a month. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You got to hit the ball.
First month of the season, Matt Olson's doing okay batting second, but the whole time I'm going, he is not a second hitter. He's a third or fourth. He's a cleanup hitter. So what happens? He moves him to cleanup, and the guy takes off and has a career year. And you're telling me that lineups don't matter?
I'm telling you that a ball player who's a professional athlete ought to be able to hit a freaking pitch from the same freaking pitcher, whether it's the pitcher's 9th pitch of the first inning or the pitcher's 17th pitch of the first inning, where the guy got up third instead of second. What the hell's the difference? You don't swing differently. You may or may not have a guy on first. You may not have a base runner. So what's the difference?
A pitcher is pitching different to a second hitter than he is a cleanup hitter for what's going on, who's behind you in the lineup.
Well, but then you can keep changing your lineup so it won't make any difference. This is silly. You still have to hit the ball.
You win 104 games with pretty much the same lineup. Let's change it for game one. How did that work out?
I know. I know. You are absolutely. Everybody in the world except me is correct on this. I know this. All I'm telling you is, if I'm a freaking ball player and my coach, when I was, the big fish in a small pond, and the coach said, "We're gonna bat you cleanup," and he says, "Oh, one day I'll put you here." I said, "Okay, fine. I'll bat third. I don't care. It's the same freaking pitcher, the same freaking pitches. What the hell? I can't believe this. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Now, you want to bet me fifth? Fine. I'll buy it anywhere you want to. You still got to hit the guy.
One thing in your corner on this is they let, with 2 different lineups, they let Ranger Suarez shut them down for 1 run in 2 games. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I know I'm wrong in every way on this, and people say, well, when you get a guy, if you got the leadoff batter gets 14 more at bats per season than the second guy, so we should bet our best leadoff hitter. I understand it, but I just think it's silly. If you hit the freaking ball, it's the same pitcher, the same ball, same batting. Everything's the same except you got there 4 minutes earlier. I don't get it. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry, I blew this whole segment. Oh, mercy. By the way, and Pete, now you got 30 seconds. Tease those 2 stories you just sent down the line here. Oh my God. The rental thing and the other one. The rental.
Okay. The rental thing. Oh, yeah.
The landlord.
There's a landlord in Haifa, Israel, that's demanding half of the rent from a girl who's been kidnapped.
Yeah, the girl's kidnapped, and he wants her rent anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Told her roommate, you're not doing me any favors living here. Well, she's not living here right now. She's kidnapped.
Oh, what's wrong with everybody? 3:30, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, and Nick Cellini.
Stereotype much?
Yeah. Yeah, well, oy vey. That's good. 3:30, look out. Da-da-da. Eric Clapton? It sounds like Jerry Reed song or some kind. It's Eric Clapton, I guess. I don't really know this song.
Tulsa Time is not his song. He was a remake from some other guy.
Well, in 2012, an oil painting by the German artist Gerhard Richter was owned by Eric Clapton, sold for $34 million, an auction record for a living artist. Eric Clapton was set to give the money to the Crossroads Center Drug and Alcohol Rehab Center, founded by Eric Clapton in Antigua.
Tulsa Time was written by Danny Flowers and recorded first by country music artist Don Williams.
Well, I shall be damned. Don Williams. I remember Don Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember his songs. I remember he was like George Reese, not George Reese. Who's the guy Reese? Not Steve Reese. George. No, God, what was it? Somebody named Reeves.
Reeves.
Beautiful old love songs. A beautiful balladeer.
Jim Reeves.
Jim Reeves. Yeah. Oh man, what a beautiful.
My parents listened to him.
Oh God, yeah. Let's see. A quick birthday of note: Paul Simon. 82, and it says here, Flounders Guy writes, stupid one-liner. Paul Simon turns 82 today. Simon's lost almost all of his hearing in one ear, so now he has a good excuse for not answering our Garfunkel's calls. Oh, sorry. That's bad. That's just mean. And on this day in history, October 13th, 1992, who will ever forget the opening statement of the seemingly befuddled Admiral James Stockdale, running mate of H. Ross Perot, 1992, on an independent presidential ticket at the vice presidential debate on this day in 1992. He said, "Who am I? Why am I here?" And as a result of his fumbled performance, the political unknown was instantly transformed from a highly decorated naval officer warrior into a doddering, out-of-touch laughingstock. I remember Saturday Night Live did one of those skits of him in a car being driven by the dog or the rabbit or the cat or whatever.
No. It was Ross Perot.
Oh, Ross Perot. And kicked him out of the car? Was that when he shoved him out of the car while he's driving along or something?
And Phil Hartman played the general. Yeah.
That's right. I forgot Phil Hartman. I mean, the poor bastard. He was a war. I mean, oh my, but it was horrible. It was so
well, the bad thing, he was being sarcastic. He was being facetious. Who am I? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
He was asking a question. He wasn't being a doddering old fool.
No, he was being He said, "Well, who am I? What am I doing?" It's hell. Vivek did the same thing when he was introducing himself at the podium the first time this last round. Vivek said, "Well, when you're wondering who's this young kid, what am I doing here?" It's the same thing, but it's
ageism.
Yeah,
ageism.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it was. Anyway, 3:38 with a Kimmer, Pete, and a Flounder.
Oh, you want to? Okay.
Yes.
You started the show talking about the Roxy next door, the goth chick.
Yeah.
There's some about goth chicks that's always done it.
They're dangerous looking and kinky, and in fact, I will tell you a goth chick story if you like after you get done.
Oh, okay. I looked on the board. They give like the next 2 weeks who's going to come to the Roxy.
Yeah.
And usually I know at least one, if not two, of the artists.
Really?
I looked at that board yesterday, and I haven't felt that old in quite a while. I don't know any of those people.
I don't know these bands. And I'm trying to get up, and if they're still out there when I get on, I don't know what time the show. I assume it's a night show. But anyway, if they're still there and I get a chance to talk to a couple of the young girls or something, and I'm gonna ask them, now, do you guys dress this way all the time, or is this just for the shows, or it's just to get them talking? Because I know my daughters are going to get a kick out of this. I hope they usually do. Anyway, 339 Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Here's the phone number: 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Let's see. A quick nitpick. Two things. It's Friday the 13th, and for decades in my career, I think we probably anybody who's a broadcaster, a radio announcer, has done the same thing. On Friday the 13th, like every other special day, you look up things about the tristidicophobia, whatever it is, what it means, where it came from. 13 because of the disciples, the Last Supper. I mean, there was a million different things. I don't even care. Honestly, it may just be me. Maybe I'm just being mentally lazy. I could care. I could not care less about trying to look up stuff about what Friday the 13th means. Yeah, I don't.
I love that stuff. The Knights Templar and all the folklore and the mythology behind things we believe.
Well, I want you to do it all, because I used to look up on all that stuff, and I just it's a funny. In fact, I'm going to be talking about Fleetwood Mac. I've realized how my life is so happy, much happier right now because of one stinking word in the group that I never listened to.
Say the word.
40 years ago. Baby. And I'll get to it later. And I'll bet you've never...
acting like a baby?
No. It's just the opposite. And I'll bet you've never had a girlfriend who used that phrase with you. Anyway, we'll get to it. Now, tell us about Friday the 13th, Pete. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Hamas thing and the attack things. For the record, France is banning any Arab protests. Israel is now moving north into Lebanon to go kill the Hamas people and the terrorists in Lebanon while they get ready for the main strike as they get to move into the Hamas territories itself. So those are the kind of things that are going on. You're going to hear some students reacting. You'll hear the View idiots talking about it. Hamas has been apparently quoted as saying they do not want... Israel warned them, you better get the hell out because we're coming. But Hamas said, no, don't go, don't leave. That way they can't bomb everybody or something. So we don't know exactly what's going on officially, but that's the word. More fallout from these student protests and stuff. Attacker in France. Apparently this young punk, Chechen immigrant on France's extremist watch list, 100 miles north of Paris, killed a teacher at a French school. 20-year-old suspect. He was shouting Allahu Akbar during the attack, slaughtered a teacher with a knife. Other people tried to stop him. Here we go. Anyway, we'll get to all that stuff. 341. First of all, Friday the 13th. Pete, tell us some of your favorite things about Friday the 13th.
Well, this may go all the way back to the Code of Hammurabi.
No, I don't know Hammurabi. You have to start.
Hammurabi is like way back, Sumerian type, Assyrian, somewhere around that age, about 3,000 years before Christ.
Oh, boy.
And supposedly he had a list of rules, and they had 13, and he took the 13th one down because even then they thought it was bad luck.
Oh.
Western cultures usually say good things are 12, 12 days of Christmas, 12 months, 12 gods of Olympus, 12 tribes of Israel.
12 inches in a foot.
If you add one more, it's not good. 13 guests at the Last Supper.
Oh, boy.
And also, Friday the 13th also said to be the day Eve gave Adam the fateful apple, and the day Cain killed his brother Abel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got that going for that.
Yeah. In fact, I remember I think it was the beginning of the Braves season, or maybe it was last year. It might have been a couple years ago. When did we get Acuna? When did he start playing for the Braves? 2 years ago? Or,
No, he's
last
been
year?
around for 5 years.
Has it been that long?
5 or so years. Yeah.
Well, I remember talking with you at one point, sometime, maybe during the podcast years or something, and you were saying, Acuna's number 13. You were saying, man, I can't believe he'd do that to his own team. How the hell can a teammate pick number 13? As bad luck as that is for your entire Brave season, this guy's going to be wearing number 13. It's bad luck. I said, oh my God, Dan Marino was. I mean, there's a lot of people been number 13, and you were very upset about him being number 13 for the Braves.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
I'll tell you why. I'll give a little hint. My middle number on my Social Security number is 13.
Okay.
And look how my baseball career turned out.
You wanted to be the third baseman for the Yankees, I know.
No, the hell, I'd kill myself. No, I wanted to be the third baseman for either the Orioles or the Braves.
Well, there you are.
I wanted to be Brooks Robinson. Or Darrell Evans or Cleet Boyer.
There you go. Darrell Evans. Oh, my God. I remember Darrell Evans.
Yankees,
funny.
please.
Well, anyway, but, the number 13, and again, you see it a lot these days. And again, I woke up this morning. In fact, I was working on the show last night, as I always do when I'm watching the news and stuff last night. And I said, well, I probably should get something on the number 13. I said, no, I just don't feel like it. Just don't care. And if it doesn't, I don't have any. I mean, it's always fun to hear about the reasons for this stuff and people who are nervous about it. But there are people who won't leave the house on the 13th, Friday the 13th, or won't go to work. They won't do anything. They'll stay in bed. In fact, one of the stories that I remember telling years ago was an actual true story of a guy who called into work. I said, I'm not leaving the house today because God knows something bad's going to happen on Friday the 13th. And then somebody got an airplane, hit his bedroom, and killed him. So because he wasn't at work. I mean, it happens all the time. So
I was talking to my friend this morning, and I said, "Yeah, I got a ticket once in Atlanta on Friday the 13th." He goes, "I got better than that. This is the 44th anniversary. We were out with our friends on homecoming night up in Iowa, and there was 8 of us, and we all piled into one guy's car. And my girlfriend at the time turned to me and said, "I'm not climbing in there and sitting on someone's lap. Let's just take your car." So they took his car and they went somewhere else instead of going dancing at the disco with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Woke up the next morning, that car had crashed into the one tree that is in Iowa. They found it, and all 6 of them went to the hospital.
Oh my! Well, I don't know what. Let's
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Well, obviously you're right, and I have. Anyway, we're going to take a break here. It's 3:45, and I love I think the post office with raising the stamp price. I don't care. I still think it's a great deal for stamp, but I got a freaking problem with what's going on lately, and I'll bet it's a total freaking budget and the economy and these dirty, stinking liberal Democrats running things. And where the hell are we going to get a Speaker of the House, too? That's coming up. 4:15. Look out. There we go. How you doing? Look out. 10 before 4 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. They're going to sing here in a minute for you. We talked about the Isley brothers yesterday. The founder died, 88 years old or something, after a fight with his brother. Well, on this day in 2004, there's that lady. Who's that lady? What commercial was this for? Was pantyhose or something? Or a short skirt? What was it? Who's that lady? Remember that with the Charlie girl? One of Charlie's Angels, I think. Who's that lady? Not that lady. And they showed her sashaying down the sidewalk. But I can't remember what the damn commercial was for. Anyway, the Isley Brothers, this day 2004.
Salon Selectives.
What?
Salon Selectives.
Salon Selective, yeah.
Wow.
And Swifter Sweeper Vac.
Oh, my God. Well, on this day in 2004, the Internal Revenue Service charged then 63-year-old Ronald Isley, lead singer of the Isley Brothers, with tax evasion for failing to report income from royalties and performances for the band between 1997 and 2002. He was found guilty and sentenced to 3 years in prison. And again, he just killed his brother the other day in the 80s, 84, 5 or 6 years old, after a fight over the logo for their band. Anyway, kind of weird. Quick birthday. Let's see. Marie Osmond. Marie Osmond, 64. She's a little bit country, and Donnie's a little bit rock and roll. Wasn't that a theme they did when they had their TV show or something? Anyway, Donnie Osmond won season 9 of Dancing with the Stars, and Marie Osmond won 3rd place in season 5, Dancing with the Stars. By the way, I heard something that really made me sad. Yeah, I read, it was popped up on my phone or one of these things popping around on the social media about some famous hottie, current, I don't know her name, but everybody else knows her, a famous girl. And she said, oh yeah, when she was on Dancing with the Stars, it would have been so easy to have an affair with Julian Huff's husband because, when he's in your arms and you're falling in love together. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you just, stop. Every girl, anyway, I forgot. Just, can you just freaking, maybe, I don't know, be true? 352. This day in history. Oh, here we are. 1792. George Washington had the cornerstone of the White House meticulously laid, and as Flounders Guy writes, 200 years later, Bill Clinton was adulterously laid in the White House in the same place. 1792, the White House designed by James Hoban. Clinton would never ban a hoe, no Hoban. This is a Flounders Guy writing here. The White House was first occupied by our second president, John Adams. Bill Clinton was the first president to have an intern on his President Johnson in a windowless corridor of the White House. It all kind of ties together, doesn't it? Anyway, the cornerstone laid in 1792. So there you go. Mercy. Oh, by the way, Holy Crapper Sports coming up after 5, but we're going to do a little sports thing until we talk Braves a little bit. We're also going to do the football game last night. I haven't gotten my watch yet to watch the TV football game watch app. So I keep forgetting there's a Thursday night football, which to me is a total crock anyway. Was it of interest, Pete, of any kind? Do we care one way or the other, or anything happen?
First of all, it was on Amazon, that Apple, so the watch wouldn't have helped you on that one.
Get that app,
but it was basically Sean Payton. Here's weird. For the last 2 years or last year, we've been hearing how the Broncos hate their quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Right.
They don't have his back. They hate him. But now they say there's trouble in the locker room because Sean Payton, the head coach, keeps throwing Russell Wilson under the bus. And it's like, okay, what is it? Do they love him or do they hate him? Do they hate Sean Payton? He really has got nothing but bad press since he took this job.
Yeah, in fact, tell them he was a New Orleans Saints coach and went to Colorado, and then in the meantime he blasted
Nathaniel Hackett, the former Broncos coach, which is something coaches don't do to each other. He did it. He was called out by all the other coaches, and they still don't like him for doing it. He since apologized for it, but I'm telling you, the Broncos suck. And Sean Payton, I hope, gets fired at some point, because I never have liked that guy.
I mean, he had the nerve to blast the previous coach whose job he took over. So that was our worst coaching job of the year. I thought, oh my God, how could even words come out of your mouth? Anyway, whatever.
Especially from a lifer, his father's Paul Hackett, he's Nathaniel Hackett. This is a football family.
Yeah.
Who the hell are you? You've won one Super Bowl. Big whoop.
Yeah, I know. 3:55. Let's go here with a Kim Repeat and Flounder. Also, the old Bachelor is on. We'll talk later on about that, just kind of a thing, and how it's just cringy, creepy. And by the way, if anybody's for the record, the Golden Bachelor they call it. This old guy in 75 years old trying to find love, and all these old ladies in their 70s. There's a couple in their 60s, but it's just cringeworthy because he's going to have to get rid of all but one. It's just they're heartbroken. Anyway, for the fakery of trying to find love again at 75, please give me a break. Now I don't know why I was going to start talking about that at all. The post office, before I forget. I guess this is going with the economy, and the post office is raising its rates. I don't know, it's like 60 cents for a stamp, or maybe, I don't even know what it is, whatever it is. I still think it's a good deal. I think if you put a little piece of paper on an envelope, and 4 days later it's in California in the guy's hand, I think that's a pretty good deal for less than like $8. Today I went to, I'm sent a bunch of my coloring books I sent to my granddaughter, Miss Molly. Others I'm giving to charity and stuff, but she's an artist and she's got friends and stuff, so it's a good cause. Anyway, so I went to post office, a big box, 2 days in a row. Yesterday I went there and I walk in, there are 9 people in line and 1 clerk.
Yep.
And today I walk in there and there were 8 people in line and 1 clerk. And I'm thinking, okay, so I said, I've got to do it. I can't, otherwise, it'll never happen. And I'm thinking to myself, this is what's going on now with the economy. Everything's been cut back. And by the way, this is, it kind of upset me. Here's how it happened. When the customer ahead of me and ahead of everybody else, I could hear the thing. I was there for like half an hour. It took me a half an hour just to get a little package. Anyway, so the woman gets the clerk and the customer leaves. So she, I got to write to see what it is. So she writes down, she says, "Next in line, please, customer service. Sorry for the delay. What can I do for you?" Like just spitting out this sort of not looking at you, it's just, pathetic. It's just, anyway, just for the record, I had it.
68 cents for a stamp. The last time I looked at it, it was like 41. I was like, what the hell?
Well, you get the forever stamps, and that's what I still have a bunch of those, so you don't have to go up anymore. But again, I don't have 100 of them. I've got a couple of books of them. Anyway, college campus stuffs. Holy cow! I just looking at the news headline. They're calling for a secret ballot for the Speaker of the House vote. And again, Scalise dropped out, and Jim Jordan went back in, and he's making his second appearance to be the Speaker of the House. And there's another candidate, I can't remember, from Georgia. There's a Georgia congressman, and I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember his name. I don't know him, and
Austin
Scott, is it? I can't remember his name. Austin.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
Austin Milbarge.
Milbarge? I don't remember that name.
From a movie.
The movie. Oh,
it's
sorry.
From Spies Like Us.
Emmett
Fitzhugh and Austin Milbarge, the GLG-20s.
Doctor. Wasn't that the Doctor?
That was the one.
That's still pretty funny. Anyway, there's George W. Bush. There's W. Bush calling Hamas cold-blooded killers.
Man, he looks like his dad.
Yeah, he's getting up there now. He is definitely. What the hell? He's got to be close to 80, right? He's got to be 78 or 9 or something. Anyway.
Best friends with Michael Obama.
Big Mike. France has banned all Arab protests. And by the way, I was just thinking about this today. I've heard, in fact, Shannon Burke mentioned last night, we were talking to him on his show after we got off the air. He was mentioning about people don't understand the history of the Middle East and don't understand the history of Israel and all stuff. And I think to myself today, the fact of the matter is, as I sit here today, I don't give a damn about the history of anybody there. All I know is that what we have to deal with today is what happened. I mean, they came over deliberately to butcher, slaughter, annihilate an entire population, and so therefore you have to respond and attack them. It's not a war. There's no military. This is not one side trench warfare, and I got the blue uniforms and you got the green ones. These are killers who came across to slaughter you. So stop them. Period. That's it. It doesn't matter what well, history shows that Israel had a place to find in 1947. I don't give a. That's got nothing to do with it. There's, all these protesters on the college campuses think they're so smart because they're talking about crap that happened 2,000 years ago. What the hell's that got to do with someone coming across your territory and killing you and your family? Just go get back. It doesn't matter. I mean, seriously, what the hell's the difference? Hell, God, I'm sure I'm wrong. 4 o'clock with a Give Her Pete and Flounder. Go stand by. Dun, 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 dun. Stevie Wonder. On this day in 1984, little Stevie started a 3-week run at number 1 on the singles chart with this hit song, I Just Called to Say I See You. It's kind of a new... I can see you the whole time. I'm looking at your knockers.
You're going to hell.
I see your breasts. It wasn't an accident that rubbed up against you. I can see everything.
There's another video. I don't know. It's back from like 2009 or 10, but I don't know if it's Beyonce or some big star is playing a show and he's there. And she blows a kiss to him, and he blows one back.
Yeah. After wetting his lips, or I love it. Excuse me. Birthdays include Sammy Hagar, 76 today. Can't drive 55. Flounder's guy with stupid one-liner. Sammy Hagar turned 76 today. Sammy still tries to drive 55, but that's not at all possible on a rascal scooter. Oh, sorry. That's one of those little supermarket things, I guess. And let's see. We have a little history thing. Oh, we got a whole bunch of them here. Oh, this is kind of funny. In 54 A.D., speaking of Friday the 13th, this might be one that we could add to the list, Pete. Roman Emperor Claudius was murdered by his wife, Agrippina. First, she fed him poisoned mushrooms. He was alive. Then she stuck a poisoned feather down the back of his throat. Still lived. Then she gave him a poison enema. And he still lived. So then she smothered him with a pillow. The man finally died. Dear God, woman.
Did you ever see back in the country, it was the 70s or 80s, they did something called I, Claudius on PBS?
Yes. I never saw
a miniseries.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it was one of the best miniseries I ever watched.
Really? I'll be damned.
Yes, it was amazing.
Because this was he, Claudius, in 54 A.D., and Agrippina was a very famous names in there, but I don't know much about
He took
him.
over after they killed Caligula. They thought his entire life. Yeah. Claudius pretended to be a dullard, so they didn't kill him. They didn't think he was a threat.
Wow. Pretty cool. 406. By the way, we've got I got a couple of, let's not do Hamas in here. Let's switch it up for a second. Let's get the Arnold from the podcast, Flounder, if you got a second. We do that. And Pete and I found this late yesterday, and it's still kind of making news, and I think it's important. I wonder whether Arnold Schwarzenegger may be running officially for the Senate in California. Former governor, of course. Well, he is singling out the Democrats for what the heck's going on in our country today, as he should and as we all should. He was on the Rob Lowe's podcast called Literally with Rob Lowe, and part of it went like this. The actual talking of the...
Ruin your cities.
Ruin your cities.
That's what the Democrats would say. Be about ruining the cities. We want to f*** up every city in America. That's what it seems to be the theme right now.
I think his accent's getting worse. Anyway, he said that's what they want to do in America. Seems that their theme is.
I understood exactly what he said.
So when you talk about the Republican philosophy, what you just said is what made me buy in. Drug abuse, homelessness, migrant crisis affecting San Francisco, Philadelphia, New York City, L.A. I mean, it's all over the place. And he's been speaking out a lot these days. In fact, I don't remember whether it was a biography or a podcast or something, whether he was talking about how he ruined everybody's kids' lives and his wife's Maria's life when he was knocked up his maid or babysitter, or whatever it was, a cleaning woman or something. And he came clean about all of that stuff, and he's kind of unleashing everything, and he's being very strong about what's going on in America these days. And I wonder whether he's going to be going back. He's getting kind of up there in age. What is he, 75 or 76? But it sounds like he's running for office again, but I can't imagine he'd be happy doing that.
He's sounding like he did before he ran for California for governor at first.
Yeah.
Conservative.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's maybe just him talking, whatever. I mean, the guy's 76 years old, pretty much do whatever he wants to, I guess. Let's see. A famous person in the news, and I don't know whether, I'll bet Flounder, in fact, I'll ask you, Flounder, have you ever heard of Walt Garrison before today when I texted you on something?
No.
And Pete, I know you, of course, know him. And Pete, when the name Walt Garrison came out, Walt Garrison died at the age of 79. And when that news broke, what's the first thing you thought of with about the name Walt Garrison?
Well, first of all, I have his football card, but that wasn't the first thing. The first thing was the pinch between the cheek and gum.
There you go. And I texted Flounder when I saw Walt Garrison. I said, "Oh, damn, we got to get that TV commercial." And I know Flounder had no idea about what this was. And if you're not of a certain age, Flounder's 40-ish. So if you're probably under 40, you have no idea. You've never heard the name Walt Garrison. Famous football player. I mean, a famous footballer for Oklahoma State. The Big 8 rushing champ. Won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. Cowboys. And then in the offseason, he was a fifth-round draft choice in 1974, retired in 74, rather. Number 3 rusher in Dallas history. Dallas's all-time list, but he was a rodeo cowboy. And in his offseason, he did rodeo. And in fact, when he was first drafted as a fifth-round draft choice, he'd go to practice. And after practice, he would go do rodeoing at local rodeo events as a steer wrestler. I mean, that's just, that's just rough and tough and tumble as it gets. Like bull riding. I mean, this is steer wrestling where you jump off your horse and wrangle the steer around his horns and his neck and then twist his neck until you both go to the ground. I mean, this is not for the weak of heart. And he did that for a living and for fun. And finally, Tom Landry said, you got to stop doing that. You can't do that during the season. Well, sure enough, Walt Garrison tore up his knee in 1975 steer wrestling, and it forced him basically to retire at the age of 30 because he just couldn't give it up, at least during the offseason. Now, the first thing I thought of was the same first thing Pete thought of, this rodeo cowboy football player, fullback and rushing back, running back and fullback. But the first thing I remembered was this commercial by Walt Garrison on TV.
Hey, it ain't easy to do rope tricks the first time around. Same goes for smokeless tobacco. But here's one that's easier to use. Skull Long Cut. Now, it's not chewing tobacco. Long Cut means it packs easy. Stays put between your cheek and gum. So Skull Long Cut makes it easy to enjoy tobacco without lighting up. You can get it in mint or original wintergreen. Easy to use, great taste. That's Skull Long Cut.
Can you imagine doing that today? And by the way, there's nothing worse than chewing tobacco. I mean, Flounder, tell your story. Can you want to tell your story? Or is that too personal?
My dad used to be, he was a big-time dipper, and when we would go to Mass on Sundays, he could put a dip in and then just swallow the good throughout all of church without spitting or anything. And then when we leave, he could just swallow it. He was pretty burly.
Oh, Pete, have you ever done it? You're not a smoker. Are you a smoker? You've never been a smoker.
My great uncle used to cut off. Remember those old milk cartons that were square, made out of wax paper?
Yeah.
That's what he would spit in. Okay.
Yeah.
If we annoyed him, he would chase us around the house with it. Threatened to make us drink it.
Well, again, the old cowboy movies have the spittoon, the big metal thing, and that was very common. Now, Flounder, did you're never a smoker? Were you ever a smoker?
I did a little bit, like in high school and stuff like that, but I was never a full-time smoker.
You ever do chewing tobacco or dip or anything like that?
A little bit here and there, but nothing like my dad or anything like that. No.
Wow. And Pete, what about you? Did you ever do chewing tobacco? You're not a smoker, right?
I tried it once. You try everything once at least. Yeah, I tried it once, and after seeing what my great uncles were doing with it, it's like, no, thank you.
I tried it once with a golfing buddy on the golf course, and I thought I was going to die. My first experience with it really was at Paris Island, Camp Lejeune, in a meeting at the Marine Corps meeting when we were in infantry training in a classroom setting, and one of the guys was falling asleep because everybody's exhausted. I mean, it's for the obvious reasons anyway. So when you have to go in a classroom, you try to stay awake, and the drill instructor caught the guy dozing off, so he made him take chewing tobacco and swallow it. And I'll tell you what, he was Ralphing for like 2 days. Oh, man. And I thought, that can't be any fun right there. Yowie. Anyway, Walt Garrison passed away at the age of 79. Very famous for his chewing tobacco. And the accent and everything. He was a cowboy. He's a rodeo cowboy, steer wrestler, which is pretty much as tough as it goes. 4:13 already. Also, and speaking of football, we won't do all sports here in this section, obviously. Al Michaels is going to be getting kind of ridiculed on social media. I'll explain that to you. Also, Pete found the story of the oyster bar lady who sucked down a few too many oysters, and the guy couldn't even take it, and adios goes the date. Coming up, 4:13 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. It's a very instantaneous music hit. 79 on this day. The Regatta de Blanc, the second album from The Police, began a 4-week run at number 1 in Britain. It features the first 2 number 1 hits, Message in a Bottle and Walking on the Moon. And the band Police in 1979 said it cost them about $10,000 to record it, which I think is not much.
Remember yesterday we were talking about Fleetwood Mac. It cost them $1 million to record Tusk.
Yeah. This was their two number one hits on this one, the Regatta de Blanc. Okay. Hold on, Lori. Oh, we didn't get to. She hang. Oh, we lost her. Damn. Well, Lori was going to talk to us about smoking tobacco. So that's fairly exciting. DeMond Wilson is 77 today. You big dummy. Lamond Wilson.
Got the history and birthdays in before.
Well, she hung up before I got done with the music. It's not my fault. You just want me to stop all that, don't you? We need to take a poll. We need to do some kind of research. Ladies and gentlemen, I just, as a habit, and nobody else likes it except me, and I guess I should probably stop doing it. But we come out with it. I like to come out with music, and again, this is all my idea. Nobody said I should do this. I said I want to have a list of music things so I can talk about a musical artist, and then I want to give somebody some famous birthday of someone of note, and then some little tidbit in history just to say, keep us kind of what's going on. Now, I've been doing that stuff, thinking and listening to that kind of stuff on the radio, for 70, 60 years. So, obviously that's my comfort zone. But if everybody hates it and everybody's tuning out or something, I'll stop doing it. I want to make people happy.
In fact, I do it on my podcast. I love when you do it. The problem is sometimes you do people that are so obscure. Like the other day, you were talking about some guy playing Zorro in the 50s that not even I had heard of. It wasn't Guy Williams. It was some other guy no one had ever heard of.
Well, no, it was Guy Williams who was actually going by his real name.
And then you did Ben Vereen's birthday, and it was like, are you kidding me?
Well, he played in Chicken Joe there in the thing with the black George. People in the
Roots.
Roots. That was one of the big.
You don't even remember what he did.
Oh my God!
I would say do the really good history stuff, the really important birthdays.
Well, oh my God! Well,
okay, quick. Name me the guy who played Zorro in 1957 that was not Guy Williams.
It was Guy Williams. There was only one Zorro.
You were talking about somebody else.
Well, I could have talked about the Cisco Kid, mister. Oh, Pancho.
Well, see, we know the Cisco
Cisco. Get off my ass. Well, how about an important historical note then, Mr. Smarmy Face? 1988. Scientists announced the Shroud of Turin, the revered Christ's burial cloth in 1988 was shown by carbon dating testing to be fake from the Middle Ages. Wait a minute. One of the three laboratories, not that long ago, ran tests again and concluded that it might not be fake after all because there was a fire in 1532 that did damage the cloth, the Shroud of Turin, and the contamination may well have skewed the results by they believe, as many years as 1,500 years off what they thought that it was a fake and may not be a fake at all. I mean, I'd like it to be real. First, I've never seen it, stuff like that, and I'm not sure what difference it makes, but I'd like it to be real. I would just like it to be real. And of course, since everything's faith anyway, we'll just take it as it is. What the heck? 423. Let's do something fun. Let's do this. We'll do Al Michaels, and we'll get him a little bit later on. But this oyster story is kind of weird. Now, Pete knows this place. There's a joint in Atlanta called Fontaine's Oyster House. And you know this place, Pete?
Yeah, it's right next to the Highland Tap. It's upstairs, and it's the last place I ever got drunk. And I had a fight in there one night that was very quick, and he regretted what he did. Oh,
well, what was that fight about? Let's talk about that.
That's something I don't want to get into.
Oh, come on. Was it a girl? I'm over a girl, right?
No. Oh. It was kind of over a girl, and it was over very quickly.
All right.
But yeah, Fontaine's is a great place. It's kind of open air from the front and the back, and you sit there, and on a nice fall night like tonight, it's a beautiful place to hang out and drink and have a date. It's a nice place to take a date. They eat oysters in the front at the bar and everything. So it's a cool little area there, by the way. And this chick showed up and has made it world famous now.
Her name is, on TikTok, calls herself Equana B, and she videotaped her phone. Recorded herself when she got to the Fontaine's Oyster House, and I'm not sure where her video the sound starts, but she ordered. The guy asked her to go out for a drink. She said, "Okay." They met at the place. She ordered 4 dozen oysters and was noisily slurping them down one after another. And anyway, here's the video of what happened when a certain thing happened because of her activities at that place.
few weeks ago out with my friends. This nigga been texting me for weeks talking to himself. Why I didn't block him? Bitch, I don't know. But today I was bored and I had time, so he texted me like, can we meet for drinks? And I'm like, yeah, meet me here. They got the best oysters in Atlanta, like, hands down. So I'm like, yes, I can get some content.
Now she's sucking down the oysters.
Yeah, when the fourth one came out, he was looking at me crazy. I didn't give a f. I'm like, baby, you invited me out. I'm gonna eat, and I was coming anyway. But I ain't gonna lie, now I wouldn't have did all that, but I did do all that. That was so good. I was not expecting it to be that good. Oh my God. It was just so good. Like, I had to. It was so good.
48 oysters.
I'm like, hold the f on. It's been like 10, 20, 30 minutes, bitch. What the f is this? Had to end up grabbing a tab, bitch. Left me with his little one drink. Yeah, bitch, I'm so glad bitch keep me some money, cause what? That was crazy to me.
She was slucking down 48 oysters. She said it's been 10, 20, 30 minutes. He went to the bathroom. He gave her some strange looks. She didn't. She said, I was like, baby, you invited me out. I'm going to eat. He said, I invited you out for a drink. She was 48 oysters, slurping them down. And then after the oysters, she ordered crab cakes and red skin potatoes, which she said, boy, these are 10 out of 10. And her date said, all right, I got to go to the bathroom. So she waits 30 minutes and realizes he left her. He disappeared. And so she had to get the tab. He left me with one blanking drink. And then he texted her and he said, I offered to take you out for drinks and you ordered all that food. I could cash app the total for the drinks. And the manager said, this happens once in a while. It's pretty funny. Two ladies once ordered 6 dozen oysters each. And that's not even the cherry on top. They were drinking White Russians. Anyway, he says he hasn't seen many people do that, but oh my God, it's not one world.
And she wanted sympathy, and the whole world is siding with the guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't get it. I don't know.
This just shows that some women are out there. They take advantage of a guy trying to be nice and have a drink with you, and they take advantage. Well, I'm going to eat like it's her right or something.
Yeah, I mean, she actually said that's what she actually said.
I'm going to eat.
I was like, baby, you invited me out. I'm going to eat. Unquote. After she finished the oysters, she started for the crab cakes and potatoes.
48
oysters. Where's that going to go into your stomach? I mean, that's just rolling around in there. I mean, that's going up to your gullet. How could you have that many? That's a lot of sloppy cow mucus there. Oh, Lord. I thought oysters, I had to be very careful about in-season oysters things, too. Is this, I guess, every month with an R or something is okay?
Well, I mean, this isn't something on the side of the road in Panama City. It's an established restaurant. They've been there a long time.
Yeah. By the way, one more kind of bizarre chick story in the news today. At the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, one of the detention officers named Shaniqua Baden, 30 years old, was on Forsyth Street the other day arguing with another woman, and they were spitting on each other. And so the police came and they arrested Shaniqua Baden and her friend she was having a spit fight with, because Miss Baden at the time was wearing a Fulton County Sheriff officer shirt, working for the detention officer as a probationary employee. Not anymore. She's been fired. Apparently, the Shaniqua told the police when they were arresting her and her friend that she had a temporary protection order against that other woman. And we don't know what the cat fight's about, but they were spitting on each other on Forsyth Street in her uniform, and I guess they don't take kindly to that. So that's not that good there. By the way, Pete Davis, you're going to have to do this on your own if you want. Pete Davis sent me a story. We go back and forth of getting stories we have, like Flounder to print out for us and to organize, so we have something to talk about on the show. And one of the things that Pete suggested is, quote, the disturbing story behind duck mating. As I started reading this story, I thought, there's really, that's all yours, buddy. If you want.
Well, I'm going to stop at the very first that you read on this, because I was thinking about maybe getting some Donald Duck sent.
We're listening. Oh, we almost lost you for a second there. Are you still with us?
I'm still there.
Okay, we got you. We almost saw you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just read you the first line. It's a Daily Mail story, and it says it's by a Harvard professor. Violent gang rape is common amongst ducks, but their females fight back.
Oh, my God.
Where do you go from there?
Forced copulations are pervasively common in many species of ducks. It's just, oh, my God.
You wouldn't think a nice little duck would be capable of something like that.
And then they have a whole thing going on with their units that are very bizarre. And
it's always the quiet ones.
They don't all have to have the rattling feathers. Anyway, I'm glad that's over. 4:30 with a Kimmer Pete and how was it for you? With a Kimmer Pete and Flounder. and maybe Nick, if he's not weeping, will be calling us at some point about the Braves game. We'll talk about that too. Look out. There we go. Well, it's 4:34 with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Happy Friday. It's the Stones here. So weird people. 1973, the Rolling Stones began a 4-week run at #1 on the American album chart with Goat's Head Soup. Was their 4th #1 hit. Rolling Stones. Well, good, they God bless them. They're still going strong 50 years later. I mean, that's unbelievable.
We may have breaking news here.
Breaking news? Oh, my
goodness. You don't have to do that. Mark Goddard has died. He was on the original Lost in Space. I think he played Don.
Oh my God! I remember that name. Oh, he was. That goes way back.
Yeah, he was 87 years old. Yeah.
Mark Goddard, was that his name? Is that what you said?
Mark Goddard, and I think he had a bit role on the remake of Lost in Space, which is fantastic, on Netflix a few years ago.
Was he the daddy?
No, Don was the second command. He was in love with the daddy's wife, with Guy Williams, not his wife, Guy Williams' daughter was on there with them, and he was kind of in love with her.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, Don was the second in command.
Oh, my goodness. 4:35.
He always had fights with Dr. Smith. He was always...
Oh, Dr. Smith, yes. A weird freaking character. He used to pop up in movies once in a while. Freak.
Will Robinson.
Yes. By the way, you wanted some famous people birthdays. How about model Beverly Johnson? I believe was the first black supermodel, if I'm not mistaken. She's 71 today. And I think that's true. Also, in this day in history, Mr. Smarmy Pants, if you want something important as well, on this day in 1963, the term Beatlemania was coined. Do you know where it came from?
Beatlemania from England, I would imagine.
Well, Beatlemania was coined by a Scottish music promoter named Andy Lothian, who was talking to reporters on the 7th of October on this day I beg your pardon. He was talking to them in 7th of October, but it was written on this day in 1963. The reporter, by talking to this guy, Andy Lothian, he used the term for the first time in the press, Beatlemania, in 1963. So there you are. Anyway, it's only me. It's only the camera. I got to goofing around here with a funny thing here. Let's see. Flounder, let's do a couple of sound bites of these of what's going on with the Hamas business. And again, the Israelis are moving north into Lebanon to kill Hamas supporters there while they get ready for the final push to go into the Hamas territories, which hasn't happened yet. But they've warned the people of Hamas area to get the hell out in 24 hours. Supposedly, Hamas told the people, don't go out, stay, so we can use you as human shields. I'm sure they didn't say that while they were telling them to stay. And there's some debate whether that's actually true or not. Also, Israel is targeting we'll talk about the tunnels underneath later on. Maybe we'll get to that later on also. But anyway, students reacting all over the place. And here's, I forgot Pete, where was this young student reacting, being very upset about what's going on with the Hamas murderers and so forth? Do you remember offhand?
It said UW, so it's either Washington or Wisconsin, probably Washington. Maybe?
Okay, well, here's among the student protests, here's one we're hearing from today.
Alone! They want our people dead! They want us killed!
They want our people dead. I mean, they want our people dead. Again, this was a deliberate attack. This was not war. This was not a retaliation for something 2,000 years ago. Basically, that's what you can claim. But it was a deliberate attack. Now, do you have that idiot, Sunny Hostin? Is that her name on The View? Oh, my God. This woman, maybe, remember, she was criticizing Nikki Haley for not using her real name, calling herself Nikki. Nikki Haley's real name is not Nikki, and something a little more unpronounceable. And by the way, let's remember, Sunny Hostin's name is not Sunny any more than Whoopi's name is Whoopi. So all these girls on The View, all of them were lying about their actual names while criticizing Nikki Haley, trying to make a racial thing out of it, that she's ashamed of her background because they can't pronounce her name. I mean, what a bunch of freaking scumbag, lying, vicious, nasty, black-hearted phonies. Anyway, here she is, Sunny Hostin, comparing what's going on with Hamas with conservative Republicans.
You know, I look at this from a legal perspective, and I think that we all know that Hamas has been designated a terror organization, just like many other terror organizations have had this designation, like the Proud Boys here in the United States.
What?
Yeah, they're pretty much like the Proud Boys, you know.
They behead baby. They saw in Topeka just last week. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well,
they're dumb.
That's what's out there. And, so I don't know. It's just
the moral equivalency and white Americans are just as bad as
he's in a tunnel. The man's in a tunnel, I tell you. All right, look, keep talking. You'll get back around in a circle in a second. We're having a bad connection to something, apparently, today. I don't know why. And by the way, for the record, Josh Hawley, the congressman, is calling for an investigation. No, don't do that. Is calling for the Department of Justice, like we can trust them at all, to investigate these pro-Palestine student groups after the University of Washington, George Washington University, praising the terrorist. And this Senator Hawley's from Missouri. He's slamming the organizations and wondering whether in the face of whether they're getting some federal money on these campuses to help these people calling for jihad. And again, this is jihad. This is Happy Jihad Day. Friday the 13th is called by one of the former Hamas leaders to celebrate jihad. And it already happened over in France. A knife-wielding 20-year-old Chechen immigrant on the extremist watch list slaughtered a teacher, killed her, and hurt others. And they've caught him, and he was shouting Allahu Akbar at the time.
Yeah.
So
even worse, in 2014, they tried to deport him and his family because of basically they're being violent. And the communist groups there lobbied and sued to keep him in the country.
You know, the link between these leftists and the haters is, I think, way worse than we may know. I mean, things like that just...
even Jake Tapper said that... Yeah, Jake Tapper at CNN goes, well, gosh, there seems to be a lot of anti-Semitism on the left that we didn't know about. The hidden left. An Israeli billionaire named Idan Ofer and his wife are resigning their posts on the executive board of Harvard's Kennedy School in protest of the president of Harvard, a girl named Claudine Gay, of her lukewarm condemnation of the violence over there by Hamas. Basically just saying, let's be nice. This guy and his wife resigned in protest of the shocking and sensitive response by the president of the university, did not condemn the letter by student organizations blaming Israel for the massacre. 35 groups and fellow students appear to be blaming the violence on Israel. And the comments are just from the president's office were basically nothing. And so now they've said, we're out. We don't want to talk to you. We're off your board. In fact, I heard the guys before us on the radio station talking about so many of the people writing letters saying, take me off your alumni list. Not only am I no longer giving you money, I don't even want to contact you. I don't want you to write me any letters. I don't want to get on your monthly letter. I don't want anything to do with you, Harvard, anymore, Harvard, because of what's going on here. And now Harvard's trying to backtrack and pretend that they give a damn. But this is, this woke it. One day we're going to have to do a whole story on whether people even should be going to college. There's got to be a better alternative than what we're spending $60,000 a year for your kid to go get brainwashed by other leftists or scared to open his mouth because they'll attack him if he does. I mean, this is nonsense. Is that a phone call, by the way, Flounder, or is it just a yellow line?
It's our, we'll get them right before we go to break. It's our, special comedian, Christian.
Oh, excellent. Christian, if you could hold on just a minute or so, we'll get right to you, sir, I promise. First of all, in case you forgot, I don't know why I said that. It doesn't make any sense. In case you haven't heard, and this involves a story that relates back to what happened to a Georgia girl earlier this summer. In Lake Mead, Nevada, a huge tourist area. Lake Mead, Nevada. I've been there. In fact, isn't that the deepest lake in the world or in the country? Or is that in Las Vegas, outside of Las Vegas? Anyway, there's a brain-eating amoeba, which basically has a 100% death rate found in the hot springs below Hoover Dam. Lake Mead. The amoeba enters the nose and causes the deadly infection, severe headaches, fever, and vomiting. The National Recreation Area of Lake Mead is saying, by the way, you really should avoid diving, splashing water, or submerging in hot spring waters. 4 people have already been killed from the infection. Destroys brain tissue. The problem is, you could almost drink it, but you can't get it in your nose. It's the damnedest thing. Or if it gets in your nose, you're screwed. In July, a 17-year-old Georgia girl, Morgan Edenroth, died after becoming infected swimming in a lake with friends. And in Florida, it happened. Guy infected washing his face and rinsing his sinuses with tap water that had the amoeba in it. Nagliaria fowleri, they call it, I think. Thrives in warm water. Holy smokes, that's horrible. Is Christian still there? Let's go. All right, a special. You wonder who this is, actually. I don't know never who this is calling. Hi, a strange anonymous comedian man. Who's this? Welcome.
I'm Christian, and I got some guy from krtoi.com, and he wants to talk to you. Okay, boy. Come in. Hey there. Hey, this is Jerry and Jilly. Welcome to the future. Kimmer, as you know why we say, I have a very special story. We know about this. Let me tell you. We just signed up to KRT.
Oh my! I can't take all the laugh. My cheeks are burning from it's 4:45 of the comedy. We can't. generation. My generation. I don't look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder. 449 on 106.3. Nick Cellini may be joining us at some point if he isn't too upset about what happened to the Braves. We haven't talked much about the Braves game, but we will. This is The Who, and on this day in 1965, The Who recorded My Generation at Pi Studios, London. When released as a single, it reached number 2 in Britain. It held off the number 1 position by The Seekers, The Carnival Is Over. Roger Daltrey would later say that he stuttered the lyrics to try to fit them to the music. The BBC originally and initially refused to play this song because it did not want to offend people who stutter. Where's the stuttering? I don't. Nope. No, you got a bad line today for some reason. May I try again? I didn't hear you there.
He said, my generation. He stutters the whole thing.
Okay, well, I wasn't listening, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, my God. Well, that's 50-year-old song, 60.
I know. Well, I guess I remember. But again, it didn't seem like he was stuttering. It's just that he was, Anyway, whatever. I don't care. John Ford Coley's birthday today. John Ford Coley's 75. And Flounders Guy writes, the sexy half of England Dan and John Ford Coley. Their biggest hit, I'd really love to see it tonight. So anyway, just a little musical thing there. And in fact, you know what? Let's do one more. Bob Dylan was given the Nobel Prize for... Oh, now you've got me. Pete just sent me a message. Was given the Nobel Prize for Literature on this day back in history. And one of the well-known phrases of Bob Dylan, which is one of his poetic phrases, I shall read for you now in honor of him getting the award today. The future for me is already a thing of the past. You were my first love, and you will be my last. Okay, Bob Dylan. All right. Okay, thank you. It's 4:51. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Pete Davis, what's this about? You got a doggy story? What happened? What's going on?
I just sent you guys a couple of pictures, and I told you the other day at 2:30 in the morning, the dogs that roam the valley came up and started barking for me to come out and play.
Yeah.
So while we were on the air a few minutes ago, I hear barking. I look out the window, and they're standing outside in the yard looking at me through the window, barking at me. Hey, can you come out and play and bring some of those famous treats you're known for? So during the commercial, I went outside, and I had to give them their treats and pet them and everything, and they laid out in the front of the yard and just looked at me through the window doing the show before they sauntered off.
Well, there you go. Sometimes you just have to work, but dog, just bring them in. We can, have them listen to them on the radio.
Well, they kind of stink.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, well, they're outdoor dogs, so they roam around in the puddles and stuff. 4:52 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And again, if you guys joined us, the carnage, the Al Jazeera constipation. Today, 3 major big stories to show the bias. Israel pummeling Gaza. The victims of the injured child sits inside the Gaza City staff members. They're all bloody, and it says, it's the vicious pounding of the Gaza Strip with the airstrikes. Palestinians are desperate for food and fuel and medicine because of the Israeli bombing. And then that's one story. Second story, morgue is besieged by Gaza, overwhelmed by the carnage. Again, another big, huge color picture story. Israel's aerial bombardment on the territory of 2 million people, overflowing Thursday, bodies faster than people can come and claim them. That's the second story. Another one, great big, huge color story once again. Georgia students show support for Israel and the Palestinians because, after all, the Israeli occupation of Palestine provide Israel with justification for its own continuous terrorism and war crimes against Palestinian people. That's the coverage of your local media. What a freaking disgrace. I mean, really, good Lord. I don't know. Let's see. Boys, where do you want to go from here? Pete, I don't know we've got several things to work on, and I'm not sure what might be next. Any ideas? Hello, any ideas?
I'd
Hello.
say
What? hit the thing and let's do something. Please, somebody. There we go. Now we're talking.
All right, how about a comedy bit?
No, that's what we need.
All right, this is a I can't. I got this. I saw it yesterday. Pete sent it to me, and so did Mike in engineering. And I can't find out the guy's name, but it's a funny black guy, and he does a hilarious bit.
Yeah, this is
United States of America, most powerful country on this planet. And it's not because we have more money or we're better looking. No. It's because we have something in this country they don't have in other countries. That's right. I'm talking about rednecks. Good old boys with an arsenal in their basement that have been waiting for just such an occasion since 1775. Oh, believe me, foreign troops land in the South, there'll be a line of pickup trucks and NASCARs heading down I-95. Marines will show up 3 hours later, nothing but beer cans and shotgun shells. What the hell happened here? War's over,
we don't know his. I saw him on social media, but I don't know his name.
I looked, and I'm still investigating.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. Well, if we come across it, we'll definitely be happy to point it out for you. 455. Here's the number: 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And we heard from poor Nick Cellini. He's got to be, I guess, probably beside himself about the game last night. He's going to be calling. I think he's going to call in today. Is that okay still with him or not?
I'm not sure. I'll shoot him a text here at the next break.
Well, I don't want to bother him. And again, they've had a long
day, and they've been talking about it all morning.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still. I'm not. I'm very upset that the Braves are done. But what a year! What an incredible year! And I think about all the excitement and it was just really, really a terrific season. And it's so horrible that they're done with it. On the other hand, I'm now voting for rooting for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Did I mention that I have one of my college degrees is from Arizona State.
No, we've never heard that.
Never heard that story before. No, I think we have. Anyway, so I'm now a Diamondbacks fan today. And again, they got a chip on their shoulder, and it's like they don't really give a damn about anything. In fact, remember Evan Longoria? He played for, I forgot who, for years and years and years, and now he's on the Diamondbacks, and I saw him the other day, and he looks like a totally different guy. He looks like a kind of a tough, rough guy, and I don't know. Oh, is Pete being rebooted?
Yes, he is. He's back.
Oh, he's back. Pete's back with us? No, he's not back with us.
Say hi, Pete.
No, he's not back with us yet. That's all right. 456. It's just the way it goes. I'm not worried. It's no big deal. By the way, have it here the latest in the 5 o'clock news, including how Israel is not only killing the Hamas supporters in Lebanon to their north, but they are also targeting the secret labyrinth of tunnels underneath the Gaza Strip. It's they call it one layer for civilians, another layer just for Hamas, and they need to get down below the second layer. Apparently, the Israeli Defense Force has destroyed 100 miles of tunnels and airstrikes, but Hamas says they have almost like 300 miles, and they've only lost 5% of them. The London Underground is 400 kilometers long, and the Hamas has more than 500 kilometers of secret tunnels, where they sneak. They have 2,500 tunnels, apparently, underneath the Egyptian border, used to smuggle commercial goods and weapons and fuel for Hamas and other militant groups. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Would you say something? Would you say something?
Rebooted.
Oh, yeah, he's rebooted. Pete Davis is rebooted, ladies and gentlemen. And frankly, sir, it's about time. And those if we're concerned about you, we were going to have a little meeting with you if you couldn't reboot yourself.
I need a good boot every now and then.
Well, I think we all do.
I think the dogs chewed through the cable because they wanted me to come out and play with them some more.
Well, I say bring them in. What the hell? You can clean the place later.
I did that once. I let one of them come in, and she wouldn't leave for 12 hours.
Oh, well.
Yeah, they're pretty big dogs, so it's not like you can just pick them up and carry them out.
No, they weigh 200 pounds probably.
Yeah, she stays where she wants to stay. Yeah.
Well, I'll be damned. Anyway, 4:58. All right, before I forget, the Golden Bachelor was on last night. It was the highest rating of the entire franchise in several years, which I find hard to believe. To me, it's just so creepy. 75-year-old guy is a widower. Women mostly in their 70s. trying to show how young and vibrant they are and trying to find love and so forth. This is just so creepy. And again, it's because of, I look at them and I look at me and I think, oh my God, it really creeps me out. I can't. Flower, have you seen anything of this show? Could you even begin to watch this show?
No, and no.
Pete, could you possibly watch any of this show? And you're nowhere near old like these people, but have you tried to see any of it?
I would watch the highlights, maybe. I'm not going to sit the whole thing, no.
Well, I mean, again, it's all schemes they do. They had a talent show where the women actually was pretty, one thought was pretty interesting. In fact, I will talk about that a little bit later. But it kind of made me sad. It made me creeped out and sad. And I'm thinking, well, anyway, at least I have Fleetwood Mac. And I've come to the secret word that's changed my life. I'm not making that up. Coming up, 5 o'clock with Akira, Pete, and Flounder, and maybe Nick Cellini from 680 The Fan, if he's not still in mourning. We'll find out. 5 o'clock. Look, I don't blame him either. There we go. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of blank, ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. Help. Stand by. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Don't be afraid of anything. Coming up on 504 with Pete Davis and Flounder, and maybe Nick Cellini if he isn't too upset about the Braves at the end of the season. I'm not ready. Also, by the way, Holy Crap at Sports coming up in about 10 minutes or so. And after that, we will play for you the chatting we did with Shannon Burke last night after we were off at 6. We joined Shannon Burke on his show down in Florida, and we chatted for several minutes, and we'll play that back for you, unless you were listening to his last. Well, either way, we're going to still play it back anyway, so you'll hear that after we do Holy Crap at Sports a little later on. We got, stuff. We got things. We're goofing around. Here's a number if you want to call, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Okay. Well, by the way, let me do the Al Michaels story. Can we do that real quick? It's a sporty thing, but it's also kind of silly and stupid. And once again, I don't have the watch to be able to get the app to watch Thursday Night Football. So I didn't. I keep forgetting there's a stupid game on anyway. But last night there was a Thursday Night Football game, and it was the Broncos and the Chiefs. And of course, when you're talking about the Chiefs, you are therefore talking about Taylor Swift and her, current relationship. I guess it's a relationship with Travis Kelce, their famous star tight end. Okay, Al Michaels is broadcasting. Do we have that sound to him, by the way? We have that sound, right? Al Michaels is broadcasting the game, but clearly he doesn't know how to describe the relationship or what he's supposed to say about what's going on between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. So it went like...
And, of course, looking on is at the moment, his good buddy and girlfriend. Taylor Swift, who makes the catch here, it's a gain of 3.
The idiot. So now the reaction on social media. Let me get this straight. Al Michaels just said Taylor Swift is Travis Kelce's good buddy and girlfriend, and that's how all girlfriends should be referred to from now on, from a girl named Nicole. Marge said, oh, yeah, his girlfriend, his good buddy, Taylor Swift is here. Oh, my God, I love this NFL commentator. No, you could hear Al Michaels' brain working there. I'm just going to say, screw it, girlfriend. His good buddy and girlfriend, yeah. Al Michaels called Taylor Swift Travis Kelce's good buddy and girlfriend. I feel like we will see that on a T-shirt by tomorrow morning. Hey, good buddy and girlfriend, please don't make Al talk about this anymore. I'm begging you. Not the announcer saying his girlfriend, his good buddy Taylor Swift is here. Let's see. Well, at the moment, his good buddy and girlfriend, can you hear my screams from a girl named Tiffany? Anyway, it's just idiot. But a little fun with the Thursday Night Football and Al Michaels.
Good buddy.
Yeah, no, I'm being good. Of course, Al Michaels, the fact that he's still working is pretty remarkable. I mean, he was the 1980s Olympic game announcer. Wasn't that him? And You Believe in Miracles?
Yeah.
That was Al Michaels, right?
Yes, that was.
And that was 1980. 43 years ago. So, I mean, he's been around a long time. And before that.
Hey, we just found out Biden has tripped again.
Oh, again? Oh, he's been speaking to people about... I heard the soundbite at 5 o'clock where he said, we're working 24 hours a day to get those people. And they go, oh, yeah, you freaking lying scumbag. You don't know what the hell you're doing. And you were saying what now, Pete?
He's in Philadelphia talking about Bidenomics.
Yeah.
And he's crawling up the stairs. It's a short little step, maybe 4 or 5 steps up on the stage. He trips, and then he stumbles twice more before he finally gets to the podium.
Oh, my God. They've got him in sneakers so he doesn't do that. The man can't walk. Well, he's got a spinal... I mean, he's old. And he's crippled and handicapped and, brain-addled. And he's just a waste. He's a ectoplasm. Oh, my God.
And he's pushing Bidenomics. You know who Paul Krugman is, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's won a Nobel Prize for economics.
Yeah.
Paul Krugman.
K with a K.
Complete crazy leftist out there,
very
right?
Screaming leftist, yeah.
He put out a little chat and a graph yesterday showing that the war on inflation is over. We won at very little cost. So you peons out there,
oh my
pay no
God,
attention to what you're experiencing or seeing. Just listen to what we elites in New York and Washington are telling you. I have a graph right here that shows that we have beaten inflation. He basically took a graph from the consumer Product Index. Is that what it's called? The Consumer
CPI,
Price Index?
Price Index, yeah.
Yeah, CPI.
Yeah.
And he says he's using that to show that the graph is going down. I mean, way down. Inflation is going way down. Unfortunately, he left out a few things.
Yeah.
He left out food, energy, shelter. Three of the basic needs.
Those are the needs.
You need to eat every day. You need energy to cook the food you eat every day, and you need shelter to cook it in and eat in. And he left those out, plus used cars, which a lot of people are buying used cars these days. Right. He literally left out three of the most important things, except for health care, and says inflation is down in one. So you peons out there, quit complaining about Bidenomics because it's working.
Well, you know, the fact of the matter is, even the issue of inflation, if they're saying it's gone down 1%, that doesn't make me feel any better when I'm still paying almost $5 a gallon for gasoline. You know, the issue of whether inflation's down or up 1% this month has nothing to do with the fact that gasoline's almost $5 a gallon for high test. And for diesel, I think it's even more. It's just outrageous. And they think the economy's going so great, and boy, we've turned the corner and we've solved inflation because I'm paying almost $5 for gasoline. Oh my God! I'm telling you, I paid 25 cents a gallon for my first car in 1962. I was 16 years old and bought a '53 Chevy, and I was paying 25 cents a gallon for gasoline. And the guy would come out in a little bow tie and check my oil and air pressure.
Well, Not the Bee says, Paul, if you're going to cook the numbers, you should put it in a footnote instead of the title of the graph. He basically says at the beginning of CPI X food, energy, shelter, and used cars. And these elites, they have no clue what's going on in the rest of America. They basically think, I've made this little graph now, so everybody needs to shut up. It's over. Inflation's over.
Oh, man, and people are buying it. And again, the media, I mean, you're telling us exactly what's going on, but nobody else is. I guarantee you they're going to be celebrating on the mainstream media tonight saying, boy, well, this is great news, folks. Listen to this. And they're going to think it's wonderful.
And they give them a Nobel Prize for this. They keep handing each other awards and credentials and everything, and these idiots don't know anything.
Yeah, I know. Well, you go by the evidence. I mean, you know, what they claim, what they say, and what the reality is. When's the last time they were right? Oh, my God. Oh, mercy. All right, let's see. Tell the people about the conspiracy to win the lottery there, Pete.
Oh, the lottery thing. Okay, this is cool. Somebody went through this. The top 10 Powerball jackpots recently. We'll start with number 10, $687 million back in 2018. Two winners, one in Iowa and one in New York. All right. Number 9 was in 2021, $699, California. Mm-hmm. Number 8, $731, Maryland. Number 7, $754, Washington. Number 6, $758, Massachusetts. Number 5, $768, Wisconsin. Now here we get to the top 4. $1.8 billion. July of 23, California. Number 3, $1.5 billion, 2016, Florida, Tennessee, California. Number 2 of all time, $1.7 billion, October of this year, a couple days ago, California. Mm-hmm. The number 1, $2 billion, November 7, 2022, California. Mm-hmm. So not only are humans finding this weird, they gave it to ChatGPT. This is what AI says about it. You're absolutely right. Statistically, it does not seem likely. Ensuring fairness and transparency in lottery systems is essential to maintain trust. Let's hope for more transparency and equitable outcomes in the future.
Oh, my. Now, by the way, I assume that someone could probably figure out a way with AI to fix the lottery.
Well, they fix voting machines.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's my money. I was supposed to win that one. Make all you guys rich. Anyway, 5:13. All right, Holy Crap at Sports coming up. And if we hear from Nick, tell him we'll be fine. If anything he wants to do, we'll be fine. Poor guy. Look out at 5:17. Kim Repeat and Philander. And later on, we'll be talking with Shannon Burke from last night's show. We got a bunch of sports birthdays, too, and we got very heartbreaking loss to the end of the season, but we got it all. Holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
This is the end. Beautiful friend.
Oh, well.
Yes, and I blame one person.
Me?
Mark Bradley.
Oh, he did it again, did he?
As I told you a week ago,
yes,
the AJC sports writer promised us this Braves team would not let us down.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The same guy who back in '96 told us the World Series was over. It's done.
Yeah, we got it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
When the Braves were up 2-0 and coming home.
Yeah.
It will now and forever be known as the Bradley curse. This is where it's going down. They lost 3-1 last night. They had another lead, but let it slip away again. Mm-hmm. I thought the pitching would be the problem going into this series, yet the pitching only had one really bad game. Spencer Strider did his job twice. Max Fried soldiered on in his outing. Bryce Elder dropped the ball, but it was the hitting that did not show up. Everyone slumping except for Austin Riley. Austin hit .353 with 2 homers and 2 great defensive plays. Mm-hmm. The quartet of Acuna, Ozuna, Albies, and Olsen, 14 for 58 with 0 homers and 1 RBI.
Yeah.
Acuna came so close last night in the 7th inning, 2 outs, bases loaded, muscled the Craig Kimbrell pitch deep into left center, but Johnny Rojas, pretty good defensive player, caught it as he slammed into the wall, and that was pretty much it. Every ball Ronald hit in Game 4 was a rocket, but unfortunately, it was right at a few people. Mm-hmm. The Braves, who were the kings of the first inning all season, scored no runs in the first inning this entire series. Mm-hmm. So just like last year, they lose 3-1. Their record is 6-2 against the Phillies in these 2 playoff series. And let's face it, the Phillies are better built for a short postseason series against the Braves. These 2 teams are pretty much the same teams as last year, and we got the exact same results. That Castellanos guy is as bad as Bryce Harper against the Bravos. 4 homers in 2 games. I liked him with the Reds, and he's really come through with the Phils. After one bad year, he's turned it around. No player had ever hit 2 homers in back-to-back postseason games ever.
Now, what did you just tell them the other day?
Quit pitching 2.
My God, Sooner says stop pitching to Bryce Harper and Castellano-Lino, then the son of a bitch hits 2, and then he does it again.
Does it again the next time. Okay, so after the game, Matt Weiner is doing the interviews on the field. He thinks it's a pretty easy job here. These guys have just won a series. They're going to be happy and ready to talk, right?
Yeah.
So Weiner tries to interview him. This is how it went. I will play the roles of both men. Mm-hmm. Matt says, Nick, nobody in Major League history has hit 2 home runs on back-to-back postseason games, but you just did. And you guys are headed to the NLCS. To which Nick answered, where's the question in that? To which Matt replied, there's no question. And Nick said, thank you for telling me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Come on.
Is there a thing between them? There must have been, because that's pretty. Now, and by the way, I used to make fun of a friend of mine, a sports reporter, who never, ever asked a question. He would go to the manager after game, Coach, what a game. He never ever actually asked a question, and that's what
game.
I mean, that's what the common thing. You're just kind of chatting is a little more anyway, and obviously Castellano-Lino wants nothing to do with it. I wonder if they must have a thing from he said something nasty about him in the past or something.
Well,
that was brutal.
Everybody on the internet said this is the absolute most Philadelphia thing ever.
Yeah, it's exactly. Threw batteries at Santa Claus, remember?
Oh, they're miserable human beings. They're miserable human beings. A whole lot of them.
Yeah.
So what happens now for the Bravos? Well, they have to figure out why Sean Murphy's offensive production dropped so dramatically in the second half despite splitting time with Travis d'Arnaud. I think they need to find 2 legitimate starting pitchers next year. Strider is fine, but Max Fried was injured 3 times this season if you include the blister. 2024 is his final year of his contract. He needs to prove he can stay healthy next season before you even think about signing him to a long-term deal. And frankly, most pundits don't think the Braves will do that. They didn't before this season started. Don't know yet if Charlie Morton comes back. We hope he does. They have to figure out if Elder's first half was a flash in the pan or not. And can Ian Anderson ever come back? Kyle Wright is gone until 2025. In fact, on Wednesday, he had an operation in Texas to fix the torn capsule in his right shoulder. So he's out until 2025. So a lot of questions for the starting staff. And maybe the secret is to not win the division, so you have to keep playing and stay fresh because it seems to be working for the Phillies. The Braves' bats were completely cold except for Riley's as they went in there. So since this is the last time I can do it this season, let's go out with one last highlight for the Mississippi Masher.
0-2, and there's a fly ball deep down the left field line towards the wall. 1-0 Braves. Shots fired here in the top of the 4th inning. And it's Austin Riley with another home run to make it 1-0 Atlanta.
Yeah, baby.
1 out of 12. See the man. Shots fired. Ben Ingram on 680 The Fan with Joe Simpson. Okay, it's time once again for our last time. Let's get this right, fellas.
Okay.
Our extra NLDS sponsors.
Sponsors for our NLDS,
Marietta Toyota.
Me.
Truist Bank. Alternate Career Sports Academy. Solomon Brothers. Subaru of Gwinnett. And 3, 2, 1. AquaGuard.
Oh, God.
It's much shorter. Well, maybe next year. We have a whole off-season.
That's probably what happened. That's probably if I had the bad juju from that singing went right over the Braves' bats or something. It's just horrible.
Right. The Braves have had better times on this date in history. It's Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah.
1914. This was a good day. The Boston Braves completed a sweep of the Philadelphia A's, the first ever sweep in World Series history.
Wow.
The Braves were 15 games out of first place in early July and came back. The Miracle Braves in 1914.
I guess.
But in 1993, Tommy Green, a former Brave now pitching for the Phillies, outpitched Greg Maddux as the Phils beat the Braves 6-3 to win the NLCS in 6 games. Why do I know this? Because I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. Okay. 1931 on this date, Eddie Matthews was born. Braves Hall of Famer, third baseman, 512 homers, 12-time All-Star, won a World Series in 57 with the Milwaukee Braves. He played for Boston and Milwaukee and was one season short of coming to Atlanta. He was traded to Houston. He may have actually played a little bit here in Atlanta. Somebody said he did. Anyway, he was the Braves manager from 72 to 74. He was born in Texarkana, Texas. Died in 2001. And on this date in 1862, see, I like to do history stuff, too.
The good history, not my kind. Yeah, the good kind you do, not the kind I do. Yeah.
In a game against Morrisania in 1862.
Well, either way, it's pretty, because it's historical. So
Jim Creighton
it's so
of the
important that you knew how to
Excelsiors.
pronounce it. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jim Creighton of the Excelsiors.
Yeah.
Considered the first huge star of baseball.
Really?
Hit a home run after doubling each of his first 4 times to the plate.
Wow.
But when he crossed home the last time, the 21-year-old superstar says, "Oh, gosh, I think I broke my belt," because he was a habit of having a tremendous upper body swing, so he would generate a lot of torque, right?
Okay.
It wasn't his belt he snapped.
Uh-oh.
It was a hernia.
Oh, no. Oh.
A ruptured inguinal hernia from which he died.
Oh, mama.
Yeah. Friday the 13th.
Oh.
So we have Philly against Arizona, Texas against Houston left in the playoffs. Their combined 354 wins is the fewest ever for the final 4 teams in the playoffs. So congratulations, Rob Manfred. You no longer have the best team still playing. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, let's have another 8 or 9 day delay between playoff games for the star teams.
But the idiot says he's in no hurry to change the format.
Well,
even
why
though
would he?
for 2 years in a row this has happened, not just to the Braves.
Yeah.
Even after 2 division winners were swept and a third struggled offensively before being eliminated. But hey, he's Rob Manfred. He knows what's best for the game of baseball. Now, do you remember that the castaways on Gilligan's Island had one way to stay in touch with the outside world? Do you remember what that was?
Wasn't it a shoe phone or something? I can't remember what.
They had a little radio.
Oh, that's right. Little portable radio. That's
whose
right.
batteries never seemed to run out.
Never ran
in 3
out
years,
after
by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a white radio. It was originally black in the pilot show, but their producer, Sherwood Schwartz, says, no, we needed to pop. So he brought down a white radio from his office in the studio lot.
Okay.
It was a Packard Bell tabletop AM radio, and it stayed there for 3 years for the entire run of Gilligan's Island. Everybody remembers the radio.
I remember
right
seeing it
there
now.
on the bamboo table.
Yeah.
But when the show was over, Schwartz took the radio back to his office and kept it there for decades. So, my question to you, for the lounge suite, why did a famous TV producer keep an AM radio on his desk?
Let's see. Kept an AM radio on his desk so he could hear Rush Limbaugh.
Close. The same reason everybody else had an AM radio back in the 60s, to listen to baseball games.
Oh, there you go.
He listened to Dodgers games mainly when he was at work.
That's right. Outstanding.
But like Braves fans, he's no longer listening to Dodgers games anymore this season, mainly because he's been dead since 2011.
Well, that'll be one good reason right there.
The Hawks nipped the Grizzlies 103-102 in State Farm last night. It's still preseason. Trae Young had 20 points. And unfortunately, the inventor of the Huckenbuck has died.
No, the Huckenbucker?
You know what the Huckenbuck is, right?
Huckenbuck is, well, I thought I knew what it was, but I'm not quite sure.
What's your
right
theory?
now. Well, no, I think we better go to your answer first.
All right, okay. James T. Bradley, who photographed 75 cotton bowls dating back to Heisman Trophy winner Doak Walker's first appearance in 1948, died this morning in Dallas. He was 101. Photographed every game except the Scamdemic game in 76 years. He went to Ohio State and found photography because his friend and classmate was Jesse Owens. He said, I want to photograph you while you're running and everything. So his father-in-law said, come on down to Dallas and get in the business of photo shooting with me for athletes. So these guys did all the sports photos for most colleges around the country for decades. They pioneered the famed Huckenbuck style. The players posed with stiff arms, leaping or diving toward the camera. They'd run toward the camera and then twist suddenly, and so one leg would be in the air. It's the one leg was, it was like the Heisman Trophy pose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Huckenbuck. So everybody had it back in the 1950s. Former Texas A&M coach R.C. Slocum knew Bradley back when he was with McNeese State. Says, I got a pic of me holding a ball out in front of me like I was catching a pass hanging on my wall. They say, okay, run toward us. Now, Huckenbuck. And that's what you have to do.
I'll be damned.
All kinds of good stuff there. And finally, one thing to show some people are not like us.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo may not want to play in Iran for a while. The soccer player is in trouble. The media there says Iranians have put several lawsuits against the star after he was seen hugging and kissing artist Fatima Hamimi on the cheek.
Oh, boy.
It was not sexual. He was thanking her for giving him 2 paintings of his children. Ronaldo could be staring down, get this, 99 lashes to the back as punishment for adultery in the form of touching a woman while in a relationship. It was nowhere near sexual. She is 85% paralyzed. She paints with her feet.
Oh, my God.
For an act of kindness, the Muslim mullahs of Iran want to have him lashed 99 times.
Well, they probably cut off her feet, too, to punish her for being a slut
Well, it's
that
her
obviously
fault.
let a man touch her on the cheek. Yeah,
it's her
clearly.
fault being the woman.
My God.
But we're all the same. Let's let more people in that think of totally different than we do.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Quick birthdays: Jerry Rice, 61, Jerry Jones, 81, and Doc Rivers, the racist from formerly Boston Thing, they're 62 today. And Jim Thorpe got his medals back on this day. International Relations Committee in 1982 restored Jim Thorpe's medals 70 years after he admitted he played semi-pro baseball, and they took away his medals from the Olympics. Anyway, coming up, we have a little chat with Shannon Burke and Pete and I from last night. If you want to stick around, 5:30 here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Yeah, baby. Oh, man. We used to go nuts for this. For this silly song. It was on this day. This doesn't sound like the original Beatles.
This is the original Beatles.
I'll be damned. 1963, the Beatles made their debut on ITV's Sunday Night at the London Palladium in 63, topping the bill and transmitting live to an audience of 15 million viewers. They played From Me to You, She Loves You, Twist and Shout, and I'll Get You. I'll Get You. I don't remember I'll Get You. I don't think I know that song. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 5:34. Coming up in a second, little thing from last night with Shannon Burke, in case you haven't heard his voice in a while. Quick birthdays include the hideous Casio Bangbangio Stupidio, the controversial New York idiot, 34 today, the retired bartender. Tiffany Trump is 30, Donald's daughter with Marla Maples. And, oh, by the way, Flounders Guy writes, stupid one-liner, Tiffany Trump's 30th birthday, or as her dad knows it, Friday. Oh, that's cold. And let's see, Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding's whoop-ass victim. She once wanted to be an Olympic gold medalist, but that turned out to be a pipe dream. Anyway, got you. Anyway, how we doing?
Actually,
yes.
Pete's got some quick breaking news.
Oh, excellent, Pete. Then breakers. Here we go.
Hezbollah has attacked Israeli military positions along the Lebanon border, so it is expanding.
Aha. Well, again, earlier today we mentioned, starting off the show, that Israel was attacking Hezbollah supporters and fortifications in Lebanon to their north. And so now I guess they're fighting back, and here we go. But that's not the big ground offensive hasn't even started yet by a long shot. And when it does, I guess we're all going to know it. And, I can't help thinking this is some kind of a setup. This is, they know it. It's like they were asking for it. How could Hamas and anybody, even in a potential right mind, say they don't think that you're going to suffer for it for attacking Israel in a sneak attack like Pearl Harbor? And so, know they're going to come for you. So there must be something waiting we don't know about. I don't know. I don't get it. We'll see. Okay, should we go to our thing? Shannon Burke last night. Here we go. Shannon Burke show. Here's Shannon.
How you guys doing?
Oh, hell, we're on the right side of the grass, my friend. How are you? That's the important thing.
I'm all right. Let me ask you, do you feel like somebody needs to give a history lesson to most Americans on the history of Israel?
Oh, I guarantee you 97% of all Americans could not find Israel on a map. They have no idea what countries are next to Israel. They have no idea. They probably heard of the 67 war, the 6-day war, but they don't really know what it means.
We know who's next to them. Yeah. Edom, Moab, let's see, Philistine.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I mean, and again, look at our school system. Hell, we didn't War II. I mean, our own, anyway. So, yeah.
I mean, literally, I may be speaking out of turn, but I think a basic, certainly people our age should know about the Ottoman Empire, World War I. What were the consequences of it? What happened to the land afterwards? What did France do with their portion? What did Great Britain do with theirs? What did the United Nations suggest in 1947 that Israel said yes to, that Palestine said no to, and then said, we're going to go to war. Israel whooped their ass a couple of times. It took some land the second time, gave it back in 79. It was a gesture of
I'm sorry, sir. This history is just one damn thing after another. Right? What the hell?
But when you're reading that professors at like Tufts University believe that they're living on stolen land, what on earth?
The only people in the history of that land that had their own country ruled by laws with borders to defend were the Jewish people. Everybody else have been occupiers that stole the land. Everyone else after them stole the land.
Right.
And God gave it to them in the first place.
What do you think about our president's words following this? I mean, you got the squad up there, and rightfully so. He took the squad down, or the White House issued statements calling their comments disgusting and vile and blah blah blah. But we've got a carrier group there. Are we going to get involved? What's going to happen?
Well, the problem is, the weaklings who are running things clearly had to do some kind of a show. So they're going to have another carrier. They said they're finally going to send charter planes to make sure that Americans who want to leave Israel, if they can get out, will get 4 charter flights a year. Ooh, wow, what a great gesture after 6 freaking days. I mean, what a bunch of freaking pansies.
Congressman Corey Mills is over there evacuating Americans right now.
Exactly. On his own. I mean, talk about showing up the administration. My God.
Mm-hmm. Do you know that if you need to be evacuated from a country by the United States in a situation like this, that before you could board the plane, you got to sign an affidavit promising to pay them back for the expense of the flight?
A promissory note, like it's Monopoly or something.
Yeah, then we want all our money back. How about that?
Yeah. How about the $150 billion that you just flit away in Ukraine, but you got to pay me the $600 to fly you out of a war zone?
Yeah. And again, and just to show, it's a dog and pony show. They showed we'll get the carrier over there. They said, oh boy, we better get those planes over there. And now they're saying, oh, okay, yeah, we froze that $6 billion. Yeah, that was our idea to freeze that money after 6 days of it happened. Yeah, we finally said, hey, you know what? Let's freeze that money. I'm glad I came up with that idea at the White House.
They said there's no proof that Iran had anything to do with it. So why did you freeze the money?
Yeah, and that was the other point. Is not only did they make a dog and pony show just for the publicity, but they still refused to say that Iran's behind it. And when President showers with daughter, when he first made his first comments, even then he never mentioned the word Iran. I mean, you think he would have the opportunity to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we don't want Iran to have nuclear weapons, because this is the kind of crap they do. And God forbid if they have nuclear weapons, guess what they would do next? Even I knew that would say that if I was president. And I don't know anything. I'm just an old goof. And I would say, what a perfect opportunity to tell the world, this is why we don't want Iran to get the freaking bomb.
Well, let's do what Senator Lindsey Graham said. I think he's made the most sense in all this. Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Let's bomb every country in the world.
That's right. Just if you can't be too clear.
If we just bomb everyone,
make them think about it. That's all.
Yeah. I don't know about all these warmongers. I'm a little more concerned about the way education has gone in this country. You got 34 college groups out of Harvard that all signed a letter blaming it all on Israel. It's all their fault. Blah blah blah. Standing with Palestine, standing with terrorists, the beheaded babies and burned babies alive, and now, thankfully, they're being doxxed by the billboard trucks out there, and a bunch of CEOs are like, thanks for outing yourselves. We won't be hiring you when you graduate. Have a nice life.
The funniest thing about that is that these are the people who are now screaming. Some of the reaction to the doxing of them is saying, this is so unfair. You're being racist and you're homophobic. You're criticizing us for that. And we're saying, how do you like it, you dirtbag? These are the people who are doxing every conservative who tried to support those who were supporting the police. Remember the cop who donated $10 to support another cop because of the George Floyd case or whatever. They not only doxed him, remember the TV station came to his house, knocked on his door to ask him why he would support a conservative cop. And I go, oh my God, this is what they did for 3 stinking years. They doxed everybody. A suspected child molester, Chuck Schumer, stood out there and said, we're coming for you, Kavanaugh. We're coming for you, Kavanaugh. Talk about threats of anybody on the conservative. And now they're, you used somebody's name and told us where he lived. Yeah, well, good. Finally, maybe you won't. Maybe you kind of suffer for what you actually supposedly believe. And what's even worse, this ones who, oh my God, I guess I better change my mind because now they're on to me. Well, you freaking coward. That's even worse. I have more respect for you if you stood up and say, I believe that, I'm not changing. I'd say, at least I know where you stand. But if you're a mamby-pamby little, no spine coward, you're even worse.
The very people that have called us Nazis for the last 4 years are now praising and supporting actual Nazi activity.
By the way, Shannon, Pete just told me something a minute ago. It's really crude, but I think people, if you haven't heard it, you need to hear it, about one of the atrocities there, beside butchering babies and ripping them out of wombs and so forth. Pete, you mentioned, folks, this is not, it's horrible to think about, but it shows you what these are not people. These are not humans. They are not animals. Don't do this. No, these are plasma blobs from Satan or something. Tell the little people.
Demons.
Tell the little people what they're doing.
They killed some of the girls and the boys in front of the women, and then they would strip the women naked and bend them over the bodies and rape them.
Oh, God.
Over the dead bodies.
And they planned that. They planned all of this.
Again, somebody was assigned the duty of chopping the heads off babies. Mohammed, we're going to give you the baby head chopping.
I
want to do the raping. I want to do the raping. Come on, Rashid. Come on, Ahmed. Well, come on, you guys. You always do the raping.
A little long as it's not a goat, please.
And by the way, I know how, ladies listening, I know how offensive that is, and I did it on purpose. If you aren't offended by the very thought of how could someone take in his hands a baby and slice his head off? And if you don't think that, you think Hamas is suffering as victims too, you're going to hell when you die.
Who cares?
Yeah.
God.
What do you think about this operation now? I believe Netanyahu's got the right, and he's not letting anyone go. You know, in the past, it's been, restraint. We urge restraint. We urge restraint. A measured response. Blah, blah, blah. And Netanyahu's not listening to anybody now. He's like, look, we will stop once every single Hamas fighter is dead, and we're going to make damn sure of it.
Yeah. And if you don't let the hostages go, you're not going to get the electricity or water back either, for the record.
Let's think about the poor Palestinians. Either they are in Hamas, they support Hamas, feed them or give them money, or if they voted for Hamas, or they keep their mouth shut and don't say anything. So the only one, the good ones, maybe 5-10%?
Yeah, probably. I'm sure you see that video going around of the kids in the school, all talking about, I love to stab a Jew. Well, I've been told in school to hate the Jews and kill them and run them over with my car, and I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, and these are the same people affected by microaggressions.
The Egyptians won't let them in. Nobody in the Middle East, no Muslim country will let them in. In fact, Jordan and Egypt kicked them out decades ago because they were making everything unstable in those countries.
And tell the little people about the Egyptians and how they take care of their people coming over there.
They have a border of Gaza that's longer than the Israeli border, and it's one huge 20-foot wall, not only above ground, but below ground, because the little rats like the tunnel.
And it's and they have people walking around with weapons too.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
You would think that if someone of their Arab brothers in the areas, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, somebody at some point would welcome their Arab brothers and sisters into their loving arms and accept them as into their whatever. They're all Jordanian in the beginning to begin.
They tried it in Jordan, and they ended up kicking them out. In fact, everyone's asking when Arafat was running the show, and Jordan had the West Bank, why didn't he ask Jordan to give him the West Bank then? Why did he wait until Israel got it, and then all of a sudden, we want that now.
Now we want that, yeah. Right. It's clearly... America needs a refresher course in the history of the Levant and that entire area in World War I. And I doubt, who knows what they're being taught.
The British and French caused most of these problems after World War I, when they basically just drew lines in the sand willy-nilly without any care about who was actually living there. Iraq wasn't a country. What are you talking about? It's ridiculous.
We have been, we did give some love today to your local commissioner, Felicia, and her recent in Clayton County commissioner.
Who switched. No,
the one it was drunk in a sports bar and said someone slipped her a drink, and then they found out she drank like four home run drinks that have like Hennessy and I don't know, a bunch of other crap in it.
Oh, mercy.
Have you heard the audio from her?
I have no.
Oh my God, I'm going to send it to you.
Oh my God.
Can they hear the audio if I play it?
Yeah, they should be able to hear.
Hold on, let me.
Let's try it.
It's.
No, why didn't we get this audio? How come you got down the floor?
Never heard of
what
this.
What the hell? Is this social media? I didn't see this on social media either.
So
I can't
the
believe
thing
it.
is, she went there to have a couple of drinks, and she ended up having. She thought she was drugged. She went out, passed out outside the bar on the ground, and I had to call an ambulance for her.
We can bring you key parts of Commissioner Franklin's side because we've got video of her interview with that police sergeant.
Yeah, yes, we hear.
Get him out my face! You gotta get him out my face! Get him out my face!
After reviewing all these hours of video and body cam video, there is no evidence to support the claim of Miss Franklin having something put in her drink.
I don't know what they gave me.
In the video at 44 Sports Bar and Grill.
This is Clayton County Commissioner Felicia Franklin.
That is correct.
The Clayton County Commissioner, the cameras, and her claims suggesting she may have been drugged. Morrow Police Sergeant Scott Stewart says he reviewed hours of police body cam video and security video from inside the 44 Sports Bar and Grill to determine what caused Clayton County Commissioner Felicia Franklin to pass out outside the club and later behave.
Get him on it! truck.
Combatively in a Morrow Fire EMS ambulance after an officer summoned help because she may have hit her head outside 404 the night of September 29th.
She's been on medication for 2 weeks.
This is, I mean, has it been a big story up there?
No, it's nowhere. Never saw it.
I'll send this to Brent.
When it originally happened, we heard the story that she was somebody slipped her a Mickey. But that was, a couple of weeks ago. We haven't heard a thing since then.
There's no Mickey. Hold on here. Let me see how much is left.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not. I don't know what they
Where's your
gave
purse?
me.
Sergeant Stewart said a receipt collected from 404 Sports Bar and Grill indicates Commissioner Franklin paid the tab with a credit card called Committed to Elect Felicia. He suggested the document indicates she had 3 of the That's Home Run drinks. A police document indicates it contains 40 proof Hennessy and Grand Marnier.
Oh, gross.
They gotta have the Hennessy.
A glass of wine was ordered. A 9-ounce pour was ordered. The waitress here is delivering the first drink of wine to Commissioner Franklin that she ordered. This is the first home run drink that Miss Franklin ordered after the wine. That would be the second home run that was ordered by Miss Franklin. That's the part where she left the drink at the table. Nobody touches it at that table as well. So that's the home run drink delivered by the waitress there. We believe it's her 4th drink.
So this is all video? All this on video?
Mainlining them?
Oh, my God. I can't believe. Why isn't there a story up here? I can't believe it.
With Clayton County, who cares?
She just went up there and just got
no, it's Metro. It's Atlanta. Oh, my God.
Well, we don't
hammered in
That's
a
the
sports
airport's
bar.
Clayton County.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't the airport's Clayton County? Isn't the airport Clayton County?
Who knows?
Clayton's I thought it was north of Fulton.
No,
it's Metro.
Hartsfield is in Clayton County.
There are 2 Claytons.
I think you're right.
There's a city Clayton and a
the city
county
Clayton is a northern suburb. Yeah, but the county of Clayton is Hartsfield.
Oh, Felicia.
Oh, my God.
Put it on the campaigns tab. Will you?
My God. I can't. Is that some reporter in Florida?
That sounded like Mark Winnie at Channel 2.
Yeah, it is Channel 2, yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, I don't know.
By the way, he is a
Channel 2.
D-bag, but anyway.
He's an am. That's why we didn't see it. Nobody watches it.
Who watches Channel 2?
The mystery is solved.
So bad.
Now we know. Well, I was right all along.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
God
what else is happening to you guys?
Jim Jordan? What's going on with Jim?
Speaker, I guess they're still messing around. I don't know. Here we go.
I guess there's no way Scalise's going to get the votes, and that means Jim dropped out and endorsed it, Steve, in order to help him out. He still can't get the votes, so now Jordan's going to come back in. Well, quite frankly, Jim Jordan's a much better decision than Steve Scalise is, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, he's tougher. He's a tougher. Well, they say Scalise is basically McCarthy, because they were such close friends, and he's not much different than McCarthy. So, and Jim Jordan's a much tougher guy. Again, he's leading this charge against the Biden people too, the whole crime family there.
Right. Well, he's one of the guys, but I don't know. How much aid are we ready to dish out? I mean, can we afford another step country? We already got one that's costing about $130 billion so far.
Well, Kirby has started already backing off Ukraine, saying we're kind of seeing the end of the tunnel here. We can't just keep doing this forever, giving money, blah blah blah. And if I'm Zelensky, I'm starting to panic right now.
Yeah, there's a new. It's like your 3-year-old when your wife has a baby. Now they're jealous of there's a new kid in town.
You know that meme where it shows the couple walking down the street and the guy turns around to look at the other chick walking by? Yeah. Well, you know what the meme is saying.
I think I know her. I think I was married to her.
Kimmer and Pete Davis, guys, it's always good to talk to you. I always look forward to this every week.
Semper Fi, my friend. Have a great one down there. Hi to the gang and hoorah.
Yeah, Brad, you guys be safe tomorrow. All
right, man.
How about Nagila?
Anytime.
See you guys later.
All right. 5:53 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder and Shannon Burke. And we're not done yet. Look out. .55. By the way, I think the forecast shows a high tomorrow like in the 60s or something, and then back in the 70 area. So here we're in fall, and this is really kind of a nice time of year right now. Too bad the Braves aren't still playing. I'm very disappointed. I feel bad for them, but I don't hate them all of a sudden or get ticked off. I mean, they gave us a great year, so I'm happy for them, and now they can relax, and maybe next year will be different. Like Pete says, we need a couple of pitchers and figure out some things, and we'll be okay. Anyway, 5:55. And let's see, anything undone before we run out of time? Pete, anything? Do you have
the fact?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying. Did you have a game you wanted to play?
The 60s.
Yeah. Okay, now why are we talking at the same time? We have a freaking delay going on now with this situation here.
Not that I know of.
Well, I don't know. Anyway,
no.
All right, it's your turn.
No, we ain't got time for the game, I'm afraid.
Okay, well, that's what
we don't have time for the game. Well, see, the problem, we're talking over each other because when I start talking, then you talk, and then I talk when you talk, so
well,
that's why we're talking over each other. It's just bad timing on my part.
It's just the way. No, it's everything.
Well, you said it's going to be 60 degrees this weekend. I'm going to cook black-eyed peas and cornbread because I don't think there's any better smell in the kitchen than cornbread and black-eyed peas simmering.
I think I got to disagree with your police work there, Lou. Simmering black-eyed peas.
You don't like the smell of cornbread?
I like cornbread. I'm not nuts about. In fact, I may just go get some cornbread. Actually, you know what? I have my dieting plans. No, I don't. I don't like black-eyed peas smell, or black-eyed peas. I'm sorry. Sorry. Anyway. Okay. By the way, you were ragging me about this thing. I guarantee. Let me ask you a question. Flounder. Have you ever had... Oh, he's gone. Oh, you're back? Okay, he's back. Have you ever had a girlfriend who would call you baby, and not that she call you baby, would she say, how you doing, baby? Or, oh, baby, I can't wait to see you. Have you ever had a girl... Probably, I guarantee you no, right? Pete, have you ever... You may be of an age. Have you ever had a girlfriend who would refer to you as baby? Let's go to the store, baby, or, oh, baby, I can't wait to see you. But
I don't exactly remember why they said it, but I'm sure they did.
Yeah, but again, it's not like it's an everyday thing with your last girlfriend or something. No. And again, at my age, as a baby boomer, and again, after watching the stupid Golden Bachelor show, this is where it all kind of came from, and because of it's sort of an emotional thing that happened, Anyway, I'm finding great relief in Fleetwood Mac songs because for some reason I never had a girl or haven't in my life who called me baby. And I've always wanted, because back then it was always the hoods, the tough guy, the greasers, and, the tough guys in the neighborhood, the townies when I was a preppy. And they had all their girlfriends would sit next to them in the car with their arm around their neck and call them baby and everything. And I always wanted this girl to call me baby and never did. Or sit next to me in the car. And now all my Fleetwood Mac songs, I just had Flounder get on me. For example, Over My Head. Let's see. You can take me anytime you like. I'll be around if you think you might. Love me, baby, and hold me tight. Can you understand me, baby? Don't hand me a line. Hold me, baby. I don't want to be without you. Say you love me. Have pity, baby. Just when I thought it was over, and now I'm running for cover. I mean, one after another, and this girl, and to me, it's a very chauvinistic, manly thing. When I was growing up, and the daddy went to work, and mama took care of the thing, and it was only the tough townie girls who would call their boyfriends baby. Hey, baby, I'll be with you, baby. And so all this is all of a sudden I've kind of come a full circle of this silly little word baby on the Fleetwood Mac songs is giving me a very serious burst of happiness and joy, and it's like I've suddenly found some new comfort. of going through the silly word baby from a girl who loves you and calls you baby because she means it. And so Fleetwood Mac is now talking to me. And as soon as I get to my car, it's going to be Say You Love Me and coming up with a giver. Anyway, Pete Flounder, have a great weekend, you guys. I'm hitting balls. If you want to join me with your Little Miss Veronica, let me know.
If we're feeling up to it.
All right. God bless America. Be careful out there. Ooh, I got to go. You're killing me. Herb, look out.